Chapter 72. Slaughter. I desire to ride the wind northward, snow falling on the imperial land like mats. I desire to tread clouds far and wide, facing a million-strong army fearless of defeat. Amidst the wind and snow, Lu Yun charged fearlessly at the forefront of his troops. In this battle, one shall comprehend the slaughter conception and ascend to the status of Grandmaster. As he drew closer to the enemy's meticulously prepared army, Lu Yun's thoughts grew increasingly tranquil. Even against overwhelming odds, I can still kill countless enemies back and forth. B0XO. Calm as the leader of the undefeated Black Flag Army, he had already reached the limit of his current realm. As long as he could comprehend the slaughter conception, he could advance to become a Grandmaster and one of the world's top experts. By then, what could a vast army of 10,000 do? Through countless battles, he had refined his 7-kill saber technique to the extreme and had reached a bottleneck in strength. This time, surrounded and attacked by tens of thousands of soldiers, his killing intent was fully stimulated, and he faintly guessed a way to break through his limits and overcome the bottleneck. Now was the time to test that conjecture. If successful, he would be promoted to the ranks of Grandmasters, and no power on earth could ever subdue him again. If he failed, he would merely die. The 7-kill saber technique knows no fear in battle nor death. Fight to the madness and battle to the frenzy, slaying all enemies and living on the edge of death. This is the true essence of the 7-kill saber technique. As time slowly passed, the distance to the enemy's army was growing closer. With his heart gradually becoming calm while comprehending the essence of the 7-kill saber technique, Lu Yun reached a state of mind as still as water. However, what's different is, his aura and the killing intent around him were constantly surging, as if they could pierce through the clouds. At this moment the earth shook, the wind and snow howled, and the neighing of war horses reached his ears. He saw numerous black dots appearing in the distance on the snow-covered wasteland. As he got closer, the black dots grew larger, revealing the formation of thousands of soldiers and horses. Mounted soldiers at the front, infantry at the back. During the charge, they could become like a raging torrent capable of tremendous power. When in a defensive formation, they resembled a towering fortress on the wasteland, solid and impassable. Kill! Seeing the enemy, the 3,000 Black Flag Army soldiers' morale surged, raising their long sabers in unison. The atmosphere intensified as they launched their fiercest charge. Although there were only 3,000 of them, their aura was extremely strong, seemingly capable of crushing any obstacle. In front of the massive army, a general clad in silver armor drew his treasured sword from his waist, and the glittering sword emitted bursts of sword chi, grinding the falling snowflakes into powder. He stared fixedly at the charging Black Flag Army and said in a deep voice, "Fellow soldiers! Here! Here!" More than 10,000 soldiers answered simultaneously, their voices echoing across mountains and rivers, causing the flying snowflakes to melt instantly. Formed by the melting snow, the icy cold raindrops felt like sharp arrows as they struck their pitch-black, heavy armor. After this battle, there will be no more Black Flag Army. Kill! The murderous cry shook the heavens, alarming the clouds. As the 10,000-strong army charged, their terrifying momentum unfurled like a fierce, unparalleled torrent, violently colliding with the Black Flag Army's aura. In an instant, the mountains and rivers lamented, and the earth trembled. "They're here." A fierce smile appeared on Lu Yun's calm face. The next moment, with a sudden burst of speed, his body surged forward, carrying the long-brewing momentum towards the oncoming enemy army. Rip, the killing intent condensed into momentum, and the true chi condensed into a saber aura, swiftly slaying many of the enemy cavalry charging forward. Killing intent becomes momentum, saber chi becomes aura. The silver armor general's face changed. Killing intent condensed into momentum, saber chi coagulated into aura. The genius general of the Black Flag Army had actually reached the invincible power of a half-step grandmaster, and this information has never been leaked, hidden far too deeply. As he looked at the terrifying saber aura still pressing forward and killing everything around, he didn't dare to hesitate and immediately slashed out with his sword, the two powerful forces colliding in midair. Boom! The air exploded, freezing raindrops were crushed, and a powerful blast swept in all directions. Surrounding charging cavalry were forced back by the terrifying wave. Those who couldn't retreat in time directly flipped over with their horses, with no part of their body intact. Such incredible strength! Lu Yun looked at the silver-armored general before him, his heart surging with battle intent. That strike just now, although not his full strength, had reached 90% of his power, but it was still easily blocked by the enemy, showing their great strength. Despite his surging battle intent, Lu Yun did not continue to tangle with the opponent and withdrew after his successful saber strike. His goal was originally to accumulate enough killing intent against the army, causing a qualitative change through quantitative change, ultimately breaking through the bottleneck of the 7-kill saber technique, comprehending the killing conception, advancing to the realm of the invincible grandmaster, and breaking the encirclement of the army. A half-step grandmaster was almost invincible within an army, and hundreds or even thousands of soldiers in a killing array couldn't pose a threat to him. Lu Yun entered the battlefield as if no one else was there, every saber strike killing over a dozen people and horses. Damn! The silver-armored general was furious and immediately ordered, "This person is too strong, the army should try to avoid him. After killing these 3,000 Black Flag Army, we will join forces to deal with him." As the words fell, he moved his figure, flew off his warhorse, and chased after Lu Yun. He was also helpless. The opponent, after all, was a half-step grandmaster and didn't hesitate to fight in the midst of ordinary soldiers. He angrily slashed out with his sword, and the terrifying sword light pierced and chopped down towards Lu Yun's back. But Lu Yun seemed to have anticipated the attack. His figure flashed, dodging the deadly strike, and retreated, killing in another direction. "As long as we delay some time, after my army annihilates the Black Flag Army, we can form a military array and turn around to slay him." The silver-armored general coldly snorted and continued to pursue closely. Kill! Lu Yun was now completely immersed in the slaughter. After just a few slashes, hundreds of enemy soldiers had died under his blade. As the cold wind howled and chilled rain drizzled, the blade was stained with blood. The more he engaged in the battle, the deeper his understanding of the 7-kill saber technique. At the same time, a force of slaughter gradually condensed and grew, making Lu Yun even more excited. Whoosh! A terrifying sword light struck fiercely, the powerful force causing the air to scream. Lu Yun's eyebrows furrowed, and then quickly smoothed out again. Now is not the time. Lu Yun swung his saber backhandedly, clashing with the opponent's strike, and then using the powerful countershock force to fly back out, his figure rejoining the army. Whoosh! A long spear swept through the air, the powerful aura causing the air to surge and roar, and the protective true energy outside the body rippled. Although this power was not comparable to a half-step grandmaster, it was exceptionally strong. However, Lu Yun did not dodge this time, turning back to chop out with his saber, the fierce saber aura erupting and filling the startled general. It was too late to retreat. Launching an attack was the best defense. Using all his strength, he raised his spear horizontally to block. Boom! The saber aura fell, the spear was severed in half, and the man's head hit the ground. Like a mayfly shaking a tree, overestimating one's abilities. Coldly snorting, Lu Yun continued to swing his saber. Chapter 73. Artistic conception. As expected, war was indeed a mill that devoured lives. After just one charge, only a few hundred remained of the 3,000 Black Flag Army soldiers. The enemy forces, however, united from front to back, amounted to a staggering 20,000. In Lu Yun's view, His sight was filled with nothing but the enemy. As long as one stand, the Black Flag army will not perish. Whoosh! B0XO. Calm the saber swept across, a cold glint appeared, and dozens of long spears were broken. Then, he flicked his sleeve, and both killing intent and true energy erupted. The attacking soldiers behind him were sent flying horizontally and collided with others, all of them ending up with shattered bones. As the Black Flag army fell one by one, more enemy forces surrounded him, adding immense pressure on his body. After slaughtering hundreds of them, numerous attacks landed on him, causing the protective true energy around him to dim considerably. As expected, without breaking through to the Grandmaster realm, there's not much that can be done against a large army. Once trapped within the enemy's battle array, the outcome will be even worse. There's not much time left for me. Lu Yun maintained a calm expression, and though there were many enemies before him, he did not despair. The more critical the situation, the calmer he needed to be. Such was the disposition he had cultivated for a long time. Now, the true chi within his dantian had already been consumed by more than half. However, compared to the nearly 20,000 enemy forces, this was insignificant. After killing dozens more, the tattered Black Flag Army's banner finally collapsed with a bang. The Black Flag Army is annihilated! The Black Flag Army is annihilated! Suddenly, a cry that resembled a mountain and an ocean resounded, shaking the endless snowy plains. As long as this general still stands, the Black Flag Army will never perish. But how could Lu Yun's voice match the roar of the tens of thousands of soldiers? His cry was soon drowned out. Similarly, his protective true energy shattered with a bang. This scene instantly boosted the morale of all enemy soldiers, because they understood that the protective true energy was a means employed by half-step grandmasters. As long as it was in place, their attacks would hardly be effective. Once the protective true energy was shattered, a half-step grandmaster's body would not be much stronger than theirs. He has broken his protective true energy. Kill him. Kill this half-step grandmaster, and be promoted to level 3. Kill! The battle cries were endless. As time passed bit by bit, Lu Yun had less than 10% of his true chi left, and could no longer summon protective true energy. Since he could not defend, he had to attack. He had to kill until the enemy quivered in fear. Exterminate all. Slaughter in every direction. Burning the ships and breaking the cauldron. Each move of the 7-kill saber technique was stronger than the last, and within moments, the number of souls under his blade increased by hundreds. Simultaneously, deeply trapped in the siege of thousands of enemies, as he constantly fought and killed, his comprehension of the 7-kill saber technique grew at a frightening speed. He had already completely mastered the first 3 layers of the 7-kill saber technique, reaching the realm of perfection. Now, he perfectly integrated these 3 moves, and his understanding of the 7-kill saber technique reached an incredibly profound level. After the 3rd layer of the 7-kill saber technique, one would exceed its limit, and no one had ever broken through. But today Lu Yun felt that he was getting closer and closer to the last layer. This final layer had no technique. Strictly speaking, it was a conception that pointed directly to the realm of the invincible Grandmaster. The slaughter conception, obtained by cultivating the 7-kill saber technique to its limit, continuously killing, breaking through the limit and comprehending. Whoosh! With a horizontal sweep of the long saber, several fierce-looking soldiers with exposed killing intent were cut in half at the waist, blood splattering all over the ground. Immediately after, countless more attacks arrived. Kill! Lu Yun's heart was calm, reaching a state where he neither feared life nor dreaded death. He swung his long saber continuously, devouring one life after another. The 7-kill saber technique's 3 moves constantly flashed through his mind, one by one being displayed fluidly by his hands, as if he had practiced them thousands of times, gradually becoming part of his muscle memory. As the killing continued, His understanding of the first 3 moves of the 7-kill saber technique deepened more and more. The final move gradually took shape in his mind. No one knew that a slaughter conception was slowly brewing inside him. On the other side, the silver-armored general, seeing Lu Yun's protective true energy being broken, yet still relentlessly slaughtering his army like a killing machine, had a more and more solemn and austere expression on his face. You are, after all, a half-step grandmaster. If you were to die at the hands of an ordinary soldier, it would be a disgrace to the title. Very well, this general shall grant you a swift death. The sword, accompanied by powerful fluctuations of true qi, turned into an intense flash of sword light, like the first ray of light when the heavens and earth were created, instantly tearing through the clouds, breaking through layers of barriers, and descending upon the mortal world. At the critical moment, Lu Yun's mind suddenly emerged from the immersed state of killing intent just in time to see the terrifying sword-light attack. Come on! Instead of retreating, he mobilized all the remaining true qi in his body and fused it with his gathered killing intent, slashing his long saber upward. Boom! The saber aura and sword light intertwined, and the sword and saber collided in an instant. The power of 2 half-step invincible grandmasters erupted fully at this moment, like collapsing mountains. A powerful storm swept out from the center of the two, and the surrounding war horses and soldiers were sent flying like grass and trees. The confrontation between half-step grandmasters exceeded the imagination of those soldiers. True qi burned. Blood boiled. Killing intent condensed. Not only did Lu Yun have killing intent, but the silver-armored general also possessed no weak killing intent. At this moment, the two of them disregarded everything and erupted with all their power. Boom! An earth-shattering momentum swept out, and both of them flew backward simultaneously. Kill! The long-nurtured killing intent in Lu Yun's heart gradually condensed, especially after being attacked by the enemy just now. It had sublimated and started to sprout. Boom! A chill flashed in the eyes of the silver-armored general as he swung his sword to strike. The two forces collided, and a violent gale swept out, once again affecting the soldiers who thought they had run far enough away. Pooh! The powerful and raging force made the silver-armored general spew out a mouthful of blood. Lu Yun was not much better off. His internal organs were shifting, and his already severe injuries had worsened considerably. However, his expression grew more excited. For the seed of killing intent had finally germinated. With a do-or-die attack, his long saber slashed down, pushing the silver-armored general back. Slash again. The silver-armored general's heart turned cold, and he retreated once more. Slash. 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 The silver-armored general kept retreating. Kill! Watching the retreating silver-armored general, Lu Yun's body burst forward, a faint blood glow emerging from his long saber, overpowering the terrifying saber aura. Kill! At this moment, the accumulated killing intent in Lu Yun's heart finally surpassed the peak and broke through the limit. Simultaneously, all understanding and realization of the 7-kill saber technique passed through his mind one by one, eventually converging on his long saber, and the earth-shattering strike was unleashed. This strike was wrapped in an endless killing intent. In Lu Yun's eyes, it seemed as if the heaven and earth had become a sea of blood, everything in the world stained by blood, and all living beings wailed and perished in that bloody world. This is the slaughter conception. After uttering this faint sentence, Lu Yun's consciousness finally left the opponent's body. Before his eyes, the golden armor and iron horses dissipated, the heaven and earth split apart, and his vision was completely occupied by a blood-colored saber glow. Chapter 74, Women are the biggest enemies. When Lu Yun opened his eyes again, the sun was setting, covering mountains and fields in a sea of red. He felt recurring throbbing pain and dizzy in his head, as if he had participated in the battle recorded in the memory. No wonder the conception is so hard to comprehend. It lasted an entire day, and even drained my spirit to such an extent. Focusing his attention, he did not immediately enter a state of recuperation but instead called up the status panel with deep concentration. Name: Lu Yun B0XO. Calm of Force. Flying Spirit Martial Academy Martial Arts. Breaking Wind Saber Technique Perfection, no more upgrades. Mix Origin Technique Perceive Truth, no more upgrades. Pure Yang Aura Perceive Truth, no more upgrades. 7 Kill Saber Technique Reach Profound, no more upgrades. Black Tiger Saber Technique Great Accomplishment 13%. Gale Thunder Flash Step Small Achievement 1%. Innate Talent Level 6 Martial Arts. Meridian Passage Realm Peak 14 Meridians. 12 Normal Channels Yin Channel Duyang Meridian. Energy Value 230. Conception Slaughter Conception First Rank 1%. In the panel, there's hardly any change in martial arts, except that the 7 Kill Saber Technique has been upgraded to the Reach Profound level and cannot be further upgraded, indicating that the Saber Technique has reached its limit. What, only 230 energy values are left? When his attention fell on the energy value, Lu Yun's body trembled slightly, his face full of shock and disbelief. After upgrading the Pure Yang Aura to Perceive Truth, there were more than 900 energy values left. The upgrade of the 7 Kill Saber Technique from Perfection to Reach Profound only consumed 200 energy values. Theoretically, there should be more than 700 energy values left. But now, the energy values have been reduced by about 500, driving Lu Yun almost insane. What are energy values? They are his direct guarantee for strength enhancement. But now, 500 energy values have disappeared out of nowhere. How could he not rage over it? Huh! Just as Lu Yun was about to go mad, his attention was suddenly caught by the last entry on the panel. Conception, Slaughter Conception, First Rank 1%. Could it be that the lost energy values were due to the Slaughter Conception? If that's the case, it would be an unexpected gain. Slaughter Conception is the conception comprehended after refining the 7 Kill Saber Technique to the extreme. If the disappearance of energy values is related to the Slaughter Conception, then energy values can likewise be used for upgrading. At this thought, Lu Yun's mind moved slightly and he began to add points to the Slaughter Conception. After consuming 10 energy values, the bar of progress for the Slaughter Conception showed no change and remained at the first rank 1%. Without hesitation, Lu Yun continued to add points. After consuming 10 energy values, there was still no change. Lu Yun frowned slightly and continued to add points. After consuming 50 energy values, the progress bar of the Slaughter Conception finally changed, becoming first rank 2%. It seems that the previous loss of energy values was indeed due to the conception. Lu Yun contemplated in secret. Even though he understood the reason, he still couldn't suppress his shock. A total of 50 energy values only improved the Slaughter Conception by a single %. That is to say, to improve the Slaughter Conception to the second rank, at least 5,000 energy values would be needed. This consumption well exceeded his expectations. But it also indirectly showed the terror of the Slaughter Conception. It seems my understanding of conception is still too limited. I have to find time to visit the Book Collection Pavilion to do more research. The Martial Academy's Book Collection Pavilion not only has martial arts and cultivation techniques, but also a wide range of miscellaneous books. Having been in the Martial Academy for several months, Lu Yun had only been to the Book Collection Pavilion twice. On both occasions, he left in a hurry after selecting his martial arts, without looking at other miscellaneous books. If it were a normal time, he would indeed feel that the miscellaneous books are of little use. Nothing is more important than adding points and improving strength. However, with the enhancement of his strength and the emergence of the Slaughter Conception, Lu Yun realized that he had lots of questions regarding martial arts. Doubts are the biggest taboo in martial arts. Having made the decision, Lu Yun quickly calmed his mind and completely entered into recuperation. Previously, integrating memories and personally experiencing the process of comprehending the slaughter conception used up a lot of his spiritual power, requiring time to recover. When the first ray of dawn came, Lu Yun woke up from his state of meditation. As legend has it, the air rising from the east with the sun is of purplish-red light, also known as purple energy coming from the east. Absorbing and refining this first strain of purple air would greatly benefit the cultivation. Lu Yun opened his mouth to absorb and refine. However, there was no movement. Could it be that the amount of aura stored in my body is so unbelievable, so that when this strain of purple aura enters my belly it's like mud entering the sea, not causing any ripples? Shaking his head slightly, Lu Yun stood up. Still at the same place, looking down. There were still steep cliffs, strange pines and ancient vines, slopes of autumn mountains crisscrossed, and the range of mountains in the distance under the morning sun. This time, everything was so clear, the beautiful scene seemed so close. Lu Yun knew that his vision had improved again, and his spiritual power had also greatly increased. This time the pure yang aura was upgraded to the perceived truth, the 7-kill saber technique upgraded to reach profound, the conception of slaughter formed. Such massive improvements have not only significantly increased his strength and essence. Even physical strength, vision, and spiritual power have also been improved. Feeling the overall improvement, Lu Yun felt much more enlightened. After returning from the rear mountain, he saw many academy students walking in groups. They were either going on a mission together, going to the Myriad Phenomena Tower to test their improvement, or going to the county capital to have fun. Look, it's Lu Yun. Junior brother Lu. Many academy students greeted warmly when they saw Lu Yun. Others who have only heard of Lu Yun's reputation and not seen him in person also gathered around to get a glimpse of the touted genius in the martial academy and even the whole spirit martial prefecture. If others treat me with a smile, one will reciprocate with a smile. This is Lu Yun's principle. Thus, a smile also appeared on Lu Yun's face, responding to everyone. Ah! Junior brother Lu actually smiled at me. Seeing Lu Yun not being aloof and arrogant like other geniuses, the academy students were overjoyed when Lu Yun responded with a smile. They sighed as they watched Lu Yun leave. It turns out not all geniuses are cold, some are gentle and approachable. Not only is junior brother Lu gentle, he is also good-looking. I wonder which lucky junior sister will get him in the future. Several female students even sighed regretfully. Just regret that I was born too late and you too old. After the transformation, Lu Yun's hearing improved and he hadn't walked far, so all these comments reached his ears, startling him to accelerate his pace. Although he had the memories of more than 20 years in his previous life, he is still very young now. He has never even touched a girl's hand. Hearing such cheesy pick-up lines and feeling the eyes on his back, he couldn't help but be a little flustered. After walking far away, Lu Yun finally regained his calmness. Indeed, women are the biggest enemies. I must be careful in the future. Chapter 75. Accepting the task after returning to the martial academy, Lu Yun didn't go anywhere else. He went straight back to his courtyard. It was lunchtime, so Lu Yun first went to the cafeteria to satisfy his hunger. He hadn't eaten for several days, and after using a lot of energy, Lu Yun ate ferociously, devouring the portions of 5 people. Upon returning to his courtyard, he read the Golden Sun refining technique twice, memorizing it word for word in his mind, and the Golden Sun refining technique also appeared on his panel afterward. Having done that, he headed straight to the book collection pavilion. B0XO. Calm just before reaching the book collection pavilion, Lu Yun stopped. Damn it, I think I've squandered all of my contribution points. Lu Yun touched his forehead, almost forgetting this in the midst of increasing his points these past few days. Should I go to the Myriad Phenomena Tower and give it a try? I can easily pass the 9th and 10th floors with my current strength. Shortly, Lu Yun killed this thought. Just a while ago, he had passed the 8th floor of Myriad Phenomena Tower, which made his reputation spread throughout the Atartial Academy. If he were to enter the 9th floor again in such a short time, it would not cause a sensation, but a shock instead. Lu Yun deeply understood the principle of, a tall tree catches much wind, and naturally would not make such a rookie mistake. Even though I don't have any contribution points, I still have to go to the book collection pavilion. And so, Lu Yun went to the book collection pavilion, returned the Gale Thunder Flash Step and Golden Sun refining technique he had exchanged last time, and then headed straight to the Internal Affairs Hall. The Task Hall is a part of the Internal Affairs Hall and is divided into demon slaying, demon extermination, and general areas. The demon slaying area is specifically for tasks related to hunting demon beasts. The demon extermination area is specifically for tasks related to eliminating and dealing with Morijin sections. The general area is for the general daily affairs within the martial academy. Lu Yun's target was set squarely on the demon slaying area. The reason sects still exist within Morijin is that they receive help from aristocratic families or court forces. Comparatively, he preferred dealing with demon beasts. Demon beasts were purer and the mortal enemy of humanity. In the demon beast area, there were several divided windows for task assignment and completion. Arriving at an unoccupied window, Lu Yun showed his identification token. Elite Disciple Lu Yun, here to take a task. Please, steward, introduce me to a suitable task. The steward inside the window was a middle-aged man, looking around 40 years old, with gentle eyes. He took Lu Yun's token, looked at it closely for a few seconds, and a smile appeared on his face. At the peak of the Meridian Passage realm, with a deep foundation, no wonder you passed the 8th level of the Myriad Phenomena Tower within 3 months of entering the Martial Academy. As he spoke, he registered Lu Yun's name and casually returned the token to him. I have quite a few tasks suitable for you, but you'll have to choose which one you want. While speaking, the middle-aged steward handed a book to Lu Yun. Taking the book, Lu Yun began to browse. Page 1, it already had content on it. Task 1. In South Harvest Town of Green Cloud County, a demon beast has been causing havoc. More than a dozen Meridian Passage realm martial artists have perished at the hands of the demon beast, as well as countless other martial artists and civilians. It is predicted that this demon beast's strength is at the peak of 2nd rank. Task level. Top yellow rank reward for completing the task. 800 contribution points. Turning to the 2nd page. Task 2. In Northfield Town of Green Cloud County, a python has caused devastation, and 2 villages have been destroyed by it. It is predicted that this demon beast's strength is at the peak of 2nd rank. Task level. Top yellow rank. Reward for completing the task. 800 contribution points. Turning to the 3rd page, it still had detailed information about tasks, and it was also a top yellow rank task. Even the task reward was the same, 800 contribution points. The 4th page remained the same. After reading it, Lu Yun's eyebrows slightly furrowed. What, you don't like these tasks? The middle-aged steward smiled. Seeing Lu Yun finish browsing the entire book but still not choosing a task, the steward guessed Lu Yun's thoughts, as he had seen this scene more than once. Those who had passed the 7th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower were disciples who had slain 2nd-rank peak demon beasts, and not just one of them. As a result, they naturally did not think highly of 2nd-rank peak demon beasts. When picking tasks, they were not attracted by top yellow-rank tasks. In the eyes of the middle-aged steward, a genius like Lu Yun, who had passed the 8th floor of Myriad Phenomena Tower, must also look down on these yellow-rank tasks. His guess was not wrong, but this was not the primary reason Lu Yun frowned. Steward, are all the rewards for top yellow-rank tasks 800 contribution points? Last time, when he and Xiao Chun carried out their task, the strongest was a Meridian Passage Realm Peak martial artist. A top yellow-rank task, but the reward for completing the task was 1,000 contribution points. Later, because a third-rank demon beast and 2 true Qi realm martial artists appeared, the task level was raised to an ordinary black-rank task, and Lu Yun and Xiao Qin each received another 1,000 contribution points. Here, the task level was the same as a top yellow-rank task, but the task reward was significantly lower. The middle-aged steward was slightly startled, swallowing the prepared words and saying in an odd tone, "You could say yes or you could say no." "Oh? What do you mean?" "The reward for a top yellow-rank task in the demon slaying area is 800 contribution points, but it's different for the top yellow-rank tasks in the demon extermination area. Rewards there range between 800 and 1,500. Why are the rewards for the same level of tasks different? Even if they were different, it should be the rewards for the tasks in the demon slaying area that are higher. After all, the strength of a second-rank peak demon beast is far stronger than a Meridian Passage realm peak martial artist. In addition, why are the rewards for top yellow-rank tasks in the demon slaying area the same, while those in the demon extermination area are different?" Lu Yun asked the questions in his heart. "By asking this, it shows that you're a smart kid, but not much." The middle-aged steward put on a mysterious air, first criticizing Lu Yun and then patiently explaining. "The reason the rewards for top yellow-rank tasks in the demon slaying area are all 800 contribution points is that the strength and number of demon beasts have been investigated, and they are contained in a specific area, not allowed to roam and continue causing harm. The tasks in the demon extermination area are different. Even the content of the tasks is only a rough idea. You need to find out for yourself, and the task level may change at any time during the journey, so the rewards are higher." Upon hearing this, Lu Yun nodded seriously. The tasks in the demon extermination area were, as he had suspected, full of danger and uncertainty. However, the tasks in the demon slaying area were somewhat unexpected to him. Since the demon beasts have already been investigated, why not directly eliminate them? Is it merely for the Martial Academy disciples to complete trial tasks? "You have potential." The middle-aged steward smiled slightly, very satisfied with Lu Yun. However, Lu Yun's next words once again caught him off guard. Chapter 76. Departure. Just as the middle-aged steward was smiling, Lu Yun spoke up. "Are there any black-rank tasks? These yellow-rank tasks seem too easy, and the rewards are just average." Even though the rewards for demon extermination tasks of the same rank were higher, Lu Yun still chose a demon-slaying task. It was for the sake of better safety. You think these tasks are too easy? B0XO. Calm. The middle-aged steward stared for a while, then sized up Lu Yun from head to toe, ensuring that he was indeed still at the peak of the Meridian Passage realm. Lu Yun of course noticed the other's doubt and concern, and immediately smiled. "Please rest assured, steward. I'm not some arrogant and conceited person. I choose a black-rank task because I'm confident in my own strength." Hearing this, the middle-aged steward finally nodded. However, he still warned once more, black-rank tasks target third-rank demon beasts. Even the weakest third-rank demon beast cannot be compared with a second-rank peak demon beast, let alone those fake ones in the Myriad Phenomena Tower. "Are you sure you want to accept a black-rank task?" Lu Yun responded with a determined gaze. At this, the middle-aged steward could only sigh helplessly, then picked up another book from the window ledge, flipping through it for a while before closing it again. After a long while, he looked up at Lu Yun. "Black-rank tasks are different from yellow-rank tasks. There are far more of them, and many people accept them, always exceeding demand. I just checked, and there's one that's suitable for you. Please do tell." Demon beasts have been causing trouble in Cloud-Water County. According to information received, there's only one demon beast there, which has just advanced to the third rank not long ago. It's considered an ordinary black-rank task. Compared to other black-rank tasks, I think this one is just right for you. Are you willing to accept it? Cloud-Water County? An idea struck Lu Yun's mind. Cloudwater County was his hometown, and this would be a perfect opportunity to go back and visit. Without giving it much thought, he quickly accepted, and continued to ask, "May I ask, can I accept multiple tasks at the same time?" One task only offered 800 contribution points, which was too little for him. Moreover, going there and back would take up a lot of time. As for an early third-rank demon beast, he didn't even take it seriously. The middle-aged steward looked at Lu Yun speechlessly. If he didn't know that the youth in front of him was a rising genius of the martial academy, he would want to scold him. Although he couldn't scold him, he still had to remind him, so as not to have such a genius develop an arrogant and complacent character, looking down upon everyone. Gathering his thoughts, he said, "Black rank tasks are generally accepted only by true Qi realm disciples. As for you, considering that you passed the 8th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower and can ensure your safety even if you cannot kill a real third-rank demon beast, we allow you to accept one. Furthermore, the Martial Academy has a rule that no matter what, a disciple can only accept one task per month. The main purpose of the tasks is to train disciples, hone their temperament and strength, rather than send them to their deaths." By the end, the middle-aged steward's tone was particularly somber and serious. Seeing that he was so insistent, Lu Yun was helpless. He really wanted to say that even a mid-third rank demon beast wouldn't be a threat, let alone an early third-rank one, which was just a slightly stronger sheep. But could he say that? Of course not. If he could say that, he'd rather go to the Myriad Phenomena Tower. Compared to earning contribution points through tasks, it was even easier at the Myriad Phenomena Tower. Take it or leave it. Seeing that Lu Yun didn't seem to be listening, the middle-aged steward's face darkened. "I'll take it, of course," Lu Yun hurriedly answered. "After all, even a mosquito's leg counts as meat." Upon hearing this, the middle-aged steward's face finally lightened up a bit, and he recorded Lu Yun's and the task's information in the task register. "When you've slain the demon beast, simply report back here, and don't worry about anything else. Someone will investigate and confirm. In addition, always remember one thing: your life is more important than the task." "Thank you for the reminder, steward." As Lu Yun left the task hall, he couldn't help but smile bitterly within. Hiding his true strength even for a single task made his life miserable. Moreover, the training mechanism of the Martial Academy was really poor. These disciples weren't allowed to fight the demon beasts now to hone their resilience and strong willpower, so how could they possibly become the pillars that Morijin required in the future? After mockingly scoffing at it in his heart, his depressed mood was finally relieved. Returning to the elite disciple's residence, instead of going back to his own room, he went directly to Duan Qing's. Having not a single tael of silver nor a contribution point, he needed to seek Duan Qing's help. He gently knocked on the door twice, and the round-faced Duan Qing opened it. Duan Qing was initially impatient, even a little angry, but his face broke into a smile when he saw it was Lu Yun. "Junior brother Lu, please come in." After taking their seats and sizing up Duan Qing, a puzzled look crossed Lu Yun's face. "Senior brother Duan, something bothering you?" Normally, Duan Qing's smile was very lascivious, but not this time. He was smiling reluctantly, and a faint shadow could be seen on his forehead. From this, it was clear that he was troubled, and it was rather complex too. Upon hearing the question, Duan Qing shook his head slightly and said with a smile, "It's nothing serious. One can handle it myself." Immediately afterward, his gaze fell on the tiger-head broad saber behind Lu Yun. "Junior brother Lu, are you preparing to go out?" "I just took on a task, and am going out to gain some experience and broaden my horizons." At these words, Duan Qing immediately grew interested, as though the person with a wretched and depressed expression earlier wasn't him. "Oh, is the task for demon slaying or demon extermination?" "Demon extermination tasks involve more complications, so I casually chose a demon slaying task." Duan Qing couldn't help but smile bitterly. You're still too young, junior brother. Although demon extermination tasks are more complex, the rewards are higher. Upon completing one, you can not only gain more contribution points, but sometimes other gains too. If you're lucky, one task might be worth as much as several others. Hearing this, Lu Yun was first stunned, then a glimmer of light appeared in his eyes. The previous time he and Xiao Chen completed their tasks, they not only received the mission reward but also got some tales of silver and 2 books of martial arts. In this regard, there seemed to be a lot of profit in demon extermination tasks. At the same time, he cursed himself for having such a narrow view on the matter. Seeing the changing expressions on Lu Yun's face, Duan Qing couldn't help but laugh. Haha, it seems that junior brother is a smart one after all. Lu Yun sighed deeply. Alas, it's just a pity that I learned too late. This might not necessarily be a bad thing. Junior brother Lu, your strength is formidable, but your task experience is limited. Undertaking a few demon-slaying tasks before progressing to demon extermination tasks would ensure a higher safety. Duan Qin continued, over the years, quite a few martial academy disciples have sacrificed themselves in tasks. Among them were disciples with great talent and strong abilities. The number of disciples who've died in demon-slaying tasks is far less than half of those who died in demon extermination tasks. Lu Yun nodded. This was very normal, as humans were more cunning and treacherous than demon beasts. After discussing with each other for a while, Lu Yun finally revealed his intentions. Duan Qing promptly and generously gave Lu Yun 500 taels of silver, the kind that didn't need to be repaid. After exchanging courtesies, Lu Yun took his leave. Chapter 77. Crisis approaches on the street, merchants and soldiers come and go, bustling with activity. On the second floor of a luxurious restaurant, many people dressed in fancy clothes are either drinking together or engaging in animated conversation, their faces full of confidence and exuberant smiles. Near the window, a young man in a black robe is sitting, with a pot of tea, several plates of meat dishes, and a large saber on the table. The young man in the black robe is enjoying the food on the table while admiring the scenery outside. Cloudwater County is still as bustling as ever, and the Soaring Dragon restaurant remains luxurious. Nothing has changed. One wonder if Cloud Creek Village has changed. B0XO. Calm Lu Yun stares at the crowded scene outside the window, feeling a mixture of emotions. Less than half a year has passed, which is just a short moment for Cloudwater County. For him, however, it seems like several years have gone by. From entering the realm of martial arts to the peak of the Meridian Passage realm, his true strength now surpasses that of most martial artists in the True Qi realm. Even in the entire Cloudwater County, he belongs to the most powerful group of people. Such an achievement, equal to the years of hard work of other geniuses, is an accomplishment that ordinary martial artists cannot achieve in their lifetime. Looking at the men and women around him, who are laughing and talking, Lu Yun feels even more emotional. If he hadn't obtained the panel, the life these people enjoy, dressed in fine clothes and living in luxury, would have been what he pursued in his whole life. But now, Lu Yun shakes his head, gathering his thoughts. Comparing himself, a martial academy's heavenly pride, to the children of an aristocratic family in a small county is a degradation indeed. After finishing the last piece of meat, Lu Yun calls out loudly, "Waiter! Guest, how can I help you?" The waiter comes over quickly, with a smile on his face. "How much is the bill?" "All right." The waiter smiles, checks the table number and the bill in his hand, then immediately says, "Guest, your total consumption is 891 coins. I'll round it down for you to 890 coins. Just 3 plates of meat and a pot of tea cost almost 900 coins. Quite expensive. However, things are different now, and this amount of money is like a drizzle to Lu Yun." Putting 1 silver coin on the table, Lu Yun picks up his tiger head broad saber and leaves. "Guest, please wait, you are 110 coins short." The waiter quickly chases after him with the silver coin in hand. No need for change, consider it a tip for you. Lu Yun waves his hand, leaving without looking back. As he watches Lu Yun's figure disappear completely from sight, the waiter finally comes to his senses. Seeing the silver coin in his hand, a smile of delight gradually appears on his face. He looks younger than me and dresses ordinarily, but one didn't expect him to be so generous. After sighing, the waiter turns to attend to other guests, hoping to encounter more generous customers again. By this time, Lu Yun has left the building and is unaware of the waiter's thoughts. More than 100 coins mean nothing to him, so giving a tip is done on a whim. The Soaring Dragon restaurant is not only luxuriously decorated but also provides attentive service. Lu Yun's horse is already fed and spirited when he comes downstairs. Go! He mounts the horse and gallops away. This purebred horse is not only fast but also has incredible endurance. It costs Lu Yun more than 90 silver coins. With Lu Yun riding at a rapid pace, he leaves the county town and heads towards Spirit Creek Village. I can't wait to see the expressions on my elder brother and sister when they see me. On the galloping horse's back, Lu Yun can't help but think of his elder brother Lu He and sister Lu Yu, unconsciously revealing a meaningful smile on his face. Go! Lu Yun speeds up again, like a gust of wind, driving towards the direction called hometown. As the sun sets in the west, it is evening. The afterglow of the sunset shines through the layers of leaves and is cast on the green-tiled houses, giving them a golden hue. Wisps of smoke rise from the chimney, gradually lengthening and dissipating under the gentle breeze. Several swallows with clipped tails swoop through the sky, eventually disappearing into the unevenly arranged courtyards. The little river in the east babbles, and the women washing clothes and children playing by the river start to return home. The whole of Spirit Creek Village is peaceful and quiet, like a paradise isolated from the world. At this moment, a group of riders comes galloping in, forcefully intruding into Spirit Creek Village and shattering the quiet tranquility. This group has nearly 100 people. Each of them holds a long saber in hand and bears a fierce expression. Judging from their assorted clothing, it is not hard to see that they are a gang of bandits. All residents of the Lu family village, roll over to me. The boisterous voice, magnified by true chi, reaches every corner of Spirit Creek Village. Enemies are invading. Spirit Creek Village instantly starts boiling, as one after another, the hunters of the village grab their weapons and run towards the village entrance. Xiao Yu, stay at home and don't come out no matter what happens. After giving his instructions, Lu He picks up the long saber hanging outside the door and walks towards the village entrance with a grave expression. Eldest brother, be careful. Seeing the determined departing figure of Lu He, Lu Yu can only remind him with concern. Spirit Creek Village, at the entrance, Tianfeng Stronghold's first leader Lu Kai, burly and strong, stands tall with his saber, looking formidable. His pair of tiger-like eyes are full of contempt as they stare at the villagers of Spirit Creek Village. 80-odd men stand behind him, each vigorous and fierce, waving their long sabers in their hands, treating the villagers of Spirit Creek Village as lambs to be slaughtered. Facing the arrogant men of the Skywind Stronghold, the hunting team members of Spirit Creek Village have veins bulging with anger and resentment, wishing they could fight them at that very moment. Lu Yang, quickly let that old fool Lu Tsangxing come out to meet me. Otherwise, I'll slaughter the whole Spirit Creek Village. Lu Kai looks down at the crowd from an elevated position, his gaze finally landing on a middle-aged man. This middle-aged man, named Lu Yang, is the captain of the Spirit Creek Village hunting team and has reached the initial stage of the Meridian Passage realm. But faced with the menacing aura of Skywind Stronghold's first leader, he can't muster the will to resist, as the gap between their strengths is too great. Ha ha, what wind blew the grand first leader Lu to our village? At this moment, Lu Tsangxing arrives from a distance, followed by Lu Tsang and Lu Meng. His eyes flash with uneasiness as he scans Lu Kai and the 80 strong men behind him. Obviously, Sky Wind's stronghold has sent its full force. Old man, I'm coming to your village this time to settle an old score with you. Lu Kai sits on his tall horse, holding his long saber carelessly, and speaks nonchalantly. Settle accounts? A hard-to-notice glint flashes through Lu Kangsheng's eyes as he smiles and says, Spirit Creek Village and Sky Wind Stronghold have always been like water and fire, not interfering with each other. What accounts do we have to settle? Humph, don't play dumb with me. My saber is not so easily deceived. Lu Songxing, still smiling, replies, This old man's memory is failing, so I'm sometimes confused. Please enlighten me, First Leader. 4 months ago, you sent 3 kids to Cloudwater County. What happened on the road? You can't have forgotten so soon. As his words fall, a strong murderous aura emanates from his body, causing the hunting team members to stagger. Chapter 78. Massacre the Village? Feeling the powerful aura from his opponent, Lu Kangsheng's face slightly changed. Meridian Passage Realm Peak. You've advanced to the Meridian Passage Realm Peak. Humph, you old man still have quite the insight. Lu Kai snorted coldly, swept his eyes over the crowd from Spirit Creek Village, then he cruelly announced, Now, I'll give you 2 choices. First, Spirit Creek Village will be annihilated. B0XO. Calm. Second, compensate my Sky Wind stronghold with 30,000 taels of silver. Who? Upon hearing those words, every villager from Spirit Creek Village and the members of the hunting teams were horrified and angrily stared at the people from Sky Wind stronghold. 30,000 taels of silver, that was practically demanding Spirit Creek Village's life. Lu Songxing blocked the eager villagers behind him. The first leader of Sky Wind stronghold, Lu Kai, had advanced to the peak of Meridian Passage Realm, and there were over 80 of his elites as supporters. If they got on their wrong side, Spirit Creek Village was in danger. However, he was somewhat puzzled. The few bandits he encountered on the road a while ago were already wiped out from the routes by him. The news definitely did not get out. How did Lu Kai find out? Regaining his composure, Lu Songxing calmly said, Our trip to Cloudwater County 4 months ago did not cross paths with anyone from Sky Wind Stronghold. First Leader Lu should not simply believe rumors of others. At this point, you old fool still want to deny it. Since it's like this, don't blame me for wiping out your village. Lu Kai's eyes showed contempt, suffused with murderous intent. Behind him, the over 80 elites from Sky Wind Stronghold also revealed killing intent. As long as the order was given by the First Leader, they would ruthlessly attack. Seeing Lu Kai's unwavering determination, Lu Songxing no longer held any expectations. His usually smiling face sunk as he coldly said, Want 30,000 taels of silver? No way. As for wiping out the village, well, see if you have the power to do so. As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Kangsheng's hunched figure suddenly straightened, and a powerful aura emanated from him, like a sleeping lion waking up after a long time. At the same time, Lu Tsong and Lu Meng, Lu Yang, one after another, released their strong aura, all at the Meridian Passage Realm cultivation level. You old fool hid well, but since you've offended Sky Wind Stronghold, there's only one outcome, death. As the words fell, he stomped his feet, his body instantly jumped from the horse back, his blade flickering coldly, making a chop. A simple chop created a thunderous booming sound, showing the terrifying power of his chop. Lu Songxing turned his hand, a hunting knife from one of his team members was drawn from the sheath in an instant and fell neatly into Lu Kangsheng's hand. With me here, Spirit Creek Village will not fall. Lu Kangsheng's eyes were sharp. He darted out like a tiger and engaged in battle with Lu Kai. The moment the two started fighting, the people of Sky Wind Stronghold also initiated their attacks and flew from their horses, charging towards Spirit Creek Village. Watching this situation, the villagers of Spirit Creek Village, who were observing from a distance, began to worry. With the old village head's age, Would he be able to contend with the strong and healthy Lu Kai? Could the hunting team members handle so many elites from the Sky Wind Stronghold? To protect Spirit Creek Village, to protect our brothers and sisters, elders, children, women, all the hunting team members and adults, pick up your weapons and follow me to fight the enemy. Lu Tsang roared, his true qi circulating in his body, erupting with a formidable cultivation level. He leaped out. Lu Yang and Lu Meng, these two strong warriors of the initial stage of Meridian Passage realm, burst out at the same time, leading the hunting team members and other adults to kill towards the Sky Wind Stronghold elite. Among the members of the hunting team, Lu He, although young, his cultivation level had already reached the middle stage of Enter Martial Realm, extremely valiant. It wasn't long before he slaughtered a Sky Wind Stronghold elite who was only at the initial stage of Enter Martial Realm. Kill! The 13-year-old Lu Tianhu had a fierce glint in his eyes as he charged towards the nearest person. Several months before, although he had not passed the Martial Academy assessment, he witnessed many geniuses and trained day and night after returning. Coupled with his level 2 innate talent, he had not only become an official martial artist, but was also only a step away from advancing to the middle stage of Enter Martial Realm. After fighting fiercely for several rounds, he slaughtered one of the elite members of Sky Wind Stronghold, his body half smeared with bright red blood. Though the hunting team members were brave, they were outnumbered by Sky Wind Stronghold, so they could only barely defend themselves. If the old village head could not gain an advantage, Spirit Creek Village would be in grave danger. After dozens of bouts, Lu Tsangxing gradually became fatigued, and could only just barely hold his ground. Considering your old age and poor health, why set up a strong front? Wouldn't it be better to obediently hand over the 30,000 taels of silver? While launching a wild attack, Lu Kai did not forget to mock him. Humph! Lu Tsangxing just snorted and did not respond. After all, he was old. He had to save every bit of strength that he could. Sky Wind Stronghold was demanding the exorbitant amount of 30,000 taels of silver with an overwhelmingly fierce stance. It was clear even without thinking, their real aim was to massacre the village. After having fought fiercely for more than a dozen rounds, Lu Kangsheng's breathing gradually became chaotic. Old man, you're doing well, actually being able to fight me for so long. But it's time for this to end. Lu Kai coldly grinned, his blade's radiance abruptly condensed, then an even more powerful burst of true qi erupted. He shouted out loud, shocking thunder slash! Bang! With a single sword slash, it was as if thunder had exploded. A strong blade light shot out from the blade immediately, bombarding heavily towards Lu Tsangxing. Squelch! The hunting knife in Lu Kangsheng's hand immediately broke at the sound, his body as if struck by lightning. Blood spurted violently, and he fell heavily on the ground. This scene made the pupils of everyone in Spirit Creek Village constrict, disbelief written all over their faces. Their strongest village chief was actually defeated like this, and what followed was worry. If the village chief is defeated, can the others possibly stand against the first leader of the Sky Wind Stronghold? Can Spirit Creek Village survive? Hee, old man, it's time for you to die. Lu Kai grinned bloodthirstily, walked towards Lu Tsangxing, who was struggling to stand up with a large knife. If I, the old man, am sure to die, can the first leader fulfill one of my wishes? Let's hear it. Lu Kai ominously drew closer. How did you guys know about that matter, and why do you insist on destroying Spirit Creek Village? Lu Tsangxing once again spit out a mouthful of blood, his already aged face becoming deathly pale. Just as expected of an old geezer, you've managed to guess some clues. Lu Kai revealed a playful smile on his face. However, I'm afraid I can't satisfy this wish of yours. With that, he infused true qi into the long blade, and slashed down at Lu Tsangxing. Stop hurting the village chief. Lu Tsang shouted loudly, burst forth at full speed, and came to the rescue. Overestimating your abilities. Lu Kai turned back and casually sliced his blade. With a loud bang, Lu Tsang was forced back, blood spurted from his mouth. The gap between the mid and peak stages of the Meridian Passage realm was fully exhibited at this moment. "We're here, don't even think about harming the village chief." Lu Meng and Lu Yang also stepped forward, launching simultaneous attacks on Lu Kai. Tiny pearls daring to contend with the sun and the moon? Lu Kai sneered disdainfully. With a blade and a palm, Lu Tsang and Lu Meng, who were in the early stage of the Meridian Passage realm, were also sent flying. "Protect the village chief." The villagers of Spirit Creek Village, who were watching from afar, showed bloodshot eyes, rushing out of the village like moths to a flame, charging at Lu Kai. Weak ants are indeed weak, but their shouting really is annoying. He held the knife with both hands, his true chi burst forth, and the edge of the blade showed a chilling light. "With this slash of mine, how many of you will be able to survive?" As he finished speaking, he slashed down. The energy of the blade was vast, piercing the air, cutting through the ground, attacking the villagers of Spirit Creek Village. "No!" Lu Tsangshin cried out hoarsely, tears running down his old face. "Ollie!" Lu Tsang struggled, trying to get up from the ground, but it had no effect at all. His wounds worsened instead. "Is Spirit Creek Village really finished?" Lu Meng slowly closed his eyes, suddenly remembering the little things in Spirit Creek Village, the little ones who called him Uncle Meng, and the companions who grew up with him. He was reluctant to let go of everything in Spirit Creek Village. He did not want Spirit Creek Village to disappear like this. He prayed in his heart that if there were gods, they would appear quickly and save everything. The terrifying slash, carrying immeasurable power, was getting all the more closer to those villagers of Spirit Creek Village who had no cultivation at all, but no gods appeared. There were no gods. Only a figure descending from the sky. Chapter 79. One cut. As he approached Spirit Creek Village, Lu Yun felt increasingly anxious, unconsciously speeding up. He finally entered Spirit Creek Village before the sun set. Gazing at the familiar village, the familiar creek, and the familiar land from afar, Lu Yun's breathing became rapid. Here were his relatives and acquaintances. It was the first place he had arrived in this world, and the first place to accept him, an outsider soul. One could say it was his root in this world. B0XO. Calm, but just as he arrived at the entrance of the village, he saw a scene that made him completely furious. The old village head was struggling painfully on the ground. Eldest brother Lu, he was fighting in a bloodbath, and the villagers of Spirit Creek Village were about to fall under the blade of a martial artist at the peak of the Meridian Passage realm. All of this made Lu Yun's anger boil over, his eyes almost spewing fire. He unleashed his Gale Thunder Flash step, arriving just in time, and simultaneously slashed out with his saber, destroying the despairing attack in an instant. Then, Lu Yun's figure appeared before everyone. The not particularly tall figure seemed incredibly radiant and towering in that moment. The villagers of Spirit Creek Village were all stunned. At first, they had just wanted to fight for the village head with Lu Kai for any chance. But after Lu Kai's sword slash, they realized the gap between ordinary people and a martial artist at the peak of the Meridian Passage realm, a chasm so great that they couldn't possibly overcome it. Under that single strike, they had lost all power to resist, only helplessly awaiting the arrival of death. But unexpectedly, at the critical moment, that desperate strike was easily dispelled by someone. And the one who had dispelled that desperate strike, now holding a tiger-head broad saber almost half a person tall, stood before them. The setting sun cast its last few rays on the village head, spreading a golden glow like shattered gold. Lu Yun held his sword, facing away from the crowd, his cold gaze firmly fixed on Lu Kai, completely indifferent, as if he was looking at a dead man. Under that terrifying stare, Lu Kai only felt his whole body shivering, and the look in Lu Yun's eyes made his soul tremble. Unable to face Lu Yun's gaze any longer, Lu Kai involuntarily clenched his long sword and took 2 steps back. He looked up at Lu Yun again, finally seeing his face clearly. How could it be a young man? Lu Kai couldn't help but mutter to himself, not to mention the fact that the other party had easily broken his powerful strike, but even more so, he had used such a gaze that he couldn't muster up the will to fight. Such a terrifying existence was merely a teenager, how could he not be shocked? Could my feeling be wrong? Lu Kai raised his eyes again, meeting the cold and indifferent gaze. At that instant, Lu Kai shuddered all over. Yes, it's that terrifying gaze. This young man is so frightening. Lu Kai's palms unconsciously began to sweat, his hands trembling slightly, and his body quivering as he took another 2 steps backward. Who are you? Lu Kai stuttered. The one who's going to kill you. As his words fell, Lu Yun moved, and the distance of more than 10 feet vanished instantly. At the same time, another strike arrived. The strike was extremely simple, as if it was meant for people of little importance, simple to the point of being completely random. But this simple and casual strike gave Lu Kai the sense of a life-and-death crisis. This strike is too powerful, I can't resist, I'm going to die. This thought instantly appeared in Lu Kai's mind. What should I do? What should I do? I don't want to die. Lu Kai frantically screamed in his heart, while pondering a way to save himself. But his opponent's speed was too fast, faster than his imagination, leaving him no time to think. No, I have a secret. In the final critical moment, Lu Kai instinctively shouted out these words. Plop! With a single slash, Lu Kai opened his eyes and saw a cold-faced youth standing in front of him, staring coldly at him. However, that wasn't his main focus. I'm not dead and there's no pain in my body. Did what one just say work? Just as he thought about it, he suddenly felt something was off. Why did it feel like his body was unbalanced, as if the left side was lighter? In an instant, his gaze shifted to the left side of his body. Without looking, his pupils contracted sharply when he did look, and at the same time, a strong pain was born in his mind, quickly spreading to various parts of his body. Ah! Lu Kai immediately hugged his left arm and screamed in pain. Sparing your life for now. Lu Yun crossed Lu Kai and instantly arrived at the battlefield where the hunting team members and Sky Wind Stronghold elites were fighting. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. It was like entering an uninhabited land, with corpses falling to the ground. Before long, not a single elite of Sky Wind Stronghold remained. At this point, the hunting team members finally regained their senses and looked at the mysterious person who saved Spirit Creek Village. He wasn't tall, dressed in a black robe, and holding a tiger-head broad saber that was nearly half the height of his body, exuding killing intent that made people's blood run cold. Why does this person look familiar? Lu He and Lu Tianhu rubbed their eyes, then looked at each other and said in disbelief, "It looks like it's Lu Yun." "Yes, that's right, it's Xiao Yun." Lu He's voice suddenly rose and his body trembled violently, his face filled with excitement. For the past few months, he and Lu Yu had been constantly worrying about Lu Yun. In their impression, Lu Yun had always been weak and needed care as a younger brother. They were afraid that he was not doing well outside and worried that he would be bullied. Lu Yu even often dreamed of Lu Yun in the middle of the night, waking up with tears streaming down his face. Now they were finally reunited with their younger brother. The joy and excitement in Lu He's heart were indescribable. "It's really Lu Yun," Lu Tianhu muttered to himself, his pupils filled with incredulity and disbelief. After just 4 months of absence, not only had Lu Yun's appearance changed greatly, but even his strength had become so terrifying. Is that really Lu Yun? Lying on the ground, close to each other, Lu Tsang and Lu Meng looked at each other and asked with a hint of doubt. Killing Peak Meridian Passage realm martial artists like slaughtering dogs and chopping down dozens of Sky Wind Stronghold elites like chopping wood, this mysterious powerhouse turned out to be Lu Yun, that young fellow with good talent? At this moment, their worldview and cognition were collapsing. Someone had grown from just becoming a martial artist to being able to slaughter Meridian Passage realm martial artists like dogs within just a few months. Was this just being a little talented? This was simply not human. It was a monster. Hee, Spirit Creek Village is finally safe. Seeing the Skywind stronghold people beheaded and Lu Kai's arms severed, the old village head finally breathed a long sigh of relief, then slowly closed his eyes. He was, after all, old and his strength couldn't be brought out to even 70%. For the sake of Spirit Creek Village, he had fought nearly 100 moves with the strong and healthy Lu Kai, almost exhausting all his energy. Maintaining his will until now relied solely on a stubborn willpower. Village head. Everyone from Spirit Creek Village gathered around, and after a long time, someone said, "The village head is fine, he's just exhausted and seriously injured. He'll recover after some time." On the other side, Lu Yun walked up to Lu He, a smile appearing on his face, a never-before-seen smile. Eldest brother. Chapter 80. The person behind the scenes nighttime. The lamps were shining brightly in the Lu family's ancestral hall in Spirit Creek Village. With a severed arm, Lu Kai lay on the ground like an insect, his eyes bloodshot and his forehead covered in sweat. Under the lamp's light, he looked rather miserable. Sitting directly in front of him were the old village head Lu Tsangxing, deputy village chief Lu Tsang, hunting team captain Lu Yang, and Lu Meng, while Lu Yun quietly stood to the side. "Tell us, how did you know about the incident 4 months ago, and why do you want to destroy our Spirit Creek Village?" As Lu Tsang spoke, his eyes were cold and flashing with icy light. "B0XO. Calm, like one said, can you spare my life?" Lu Kai struggled, trying to get up, but he was tied up and had lost an arm, making it impossible for him to do so. "You don't have the power to choose now." Lu Yang snorted coldly, his whole body filled with murderous intent. Lu Kai gave a disdainful glance at the others, then fixed his gaze on Lu Yun, who was standing by the side. "Speak. Die swiftly and without pain if you do, otherwise suffer a painful death." Lu Yun spoke succinctly. Lu Kai's expression dimmed slightly, but there wasn't much change in his face, as if he had expected this outcome. After a long silence, he slowly said, "As part of the deal, tell me who you are and what your cultivation level is." Spirit Creek Village was supposed to be wiped out, but in the critical moment, this young man in front of him interfered. This was something he couldn't figure out. Who was this young man? What did he have to do with Spirit Creek Village, and why did he help them? And what was his cultivation, that just one look at him made him, a Peak Meridian Passage Realm cultivator, lose all will to resist? Lu Kai wanted to know all this, he didn't want to die confused. In fact, not only did Lu Kai want to know Lu Yun's cultivation, but Lu Tsangxing, Lu Meng, and others also wanted to know it. At this moment, all their gazes were fixed on Lu Yun. Lu Yun, at the peak of the Meridian Passage realm. Lu Yun said indifferently, his heartstrings undisturbed. "Impossible." Both Lu Kai and Lu Kangsheng's voices rang out simultaneously. Lu Tsang, Lu Yang, and Lu Meng also frowned slightly. Was there such a strong Peak Meridian Passage realm cultivator? "All right, now it's your turn to confess." Lu Yun didn't have any intention to explain further. Lu Kai coughed and asked again, "Cough, cough. May first ask one last question. How many meridians have you opened up now? Don't push your luck." Lu Yun stepped forward, releasing a powerful aura that pressed down on Lu Kai, whose pupils dilated and almost choked under the pressure. "Tell me or kill me." Lu Kai struggled with difficulty, squeezing out each word through the gaps between his teeth. Lu Yun frowned slightly, but soon relaxed, retracted his aura and looked down at Lu Kai from above, his tone cold. "I've never been lenient with my enemies, and one don't want to do this again." No longer oppressed by the powerful aura, Lu Kai finally caught his breath. After taking a deep breath, he sneered, "Ha ha, as long as you satisfy my last wish, one will naturally tell you what you want to know." Lu Yun didn't look at Lu Kai again but turned to glance at Lu Tsangxing and the others. His indifferent expression withdrew before speaking. "There is a gap between Peak Meridian Passage Realm and Peak Meridian Passage Realm. because of their foundations, talents, and martial arts, some people could only open 6 or 7 meridians and they would already be at the peak meridian passage realm. Those who achieve the peak meridian passage realm by opening 6 or 7 meridians are ordinary martial artists. As for me, one have opened a few more meridians than the average martial artist, barely 10 I guess. Hiss! Upon hearing that Lu Yun had opened 10 meridians, everyone in the ancestral hall gasped in shock. I've only opened 1 meridian so far, and you've already opened 10, Lu Yun. How can anyone else even live? Lu Meng couldn't help but want to howl at the sky. Lu Yang also looked at Lu Yun with an incredulous gaze, feeling it was unbelievable. He had practiced for decades but ended up only opening 2 meridians. At this moment, Lu Tsang suddenly let out a sound and looked at Lu Tsangxing sitting next to him, curiously asking, "Old village head, aren't you at the peak of the meridian passage realm? How many meridians have you opened?" Upon hearing this, Lu Kangsheng's old face turned red, and he said with some embarrassment, "This old man's talent isn't good. I barely opened 6 meridians." Soon after, a smile bloomed on his aged face, causing a hint of redness to appear on his originally pale complexion. Haha, although 1 a.m. the most ordinary peak of the meridian passage realm, one have no regrets being able to witness Lu Yun's rise in my lifetime. Lu Yun had cultivated for less than a year, reached the peak of the meridian passage realm, and opened 10 meridians. His future prospects were infinite. Spirit Creek Village, henceforth, was safe from danger. Thinking of this, Lu Tsangxing coughed a few times in excitement, nearly aggravating his wounds. Lu Kai's expression changed continuously. After confirming that Lu Yun was indeed only at the peak of the meridian passage realm, he suddenly burst into laughter. "Ha ha, I, Lu Kai, am the first leader of the Sky Wind Stronghold. One have roamed freely all my life, but I never thought that, because of a moment's error, I would die here. How sad, how sad! Dying in my hands may not be your fortune, but it is not a tragedy." Lu Yun looked coldly at him, his eyes revealing no emotions. Lu Kai's smile slowly faded, his gaze fell on the ceiling, as if lost in memories, and he began to speak. "For Sky Wind Stronghold, living life on the edge is common practice. Death is normal, especially for those dead for several months. 2 days ago, someone suddenly came to my door, offered me 10,000 taels of silver to wipe out Spirit Creek Village, and informed me that Lu Tsangxing was the one who slaughtered Sky Wind Stronghold 4 months ago." Lu Kangsheng's face tightened and he asked, "Who was it?" A vicious expression emerged on Lu Kai's face, and he said with hatred, "That man wore a black robe with a silver mask, trying to conceal his identity. However, his physique, his voice, and his habitual movements completely betrayed him. It was Mu Ing Bo." With those words, Lu Kai closed his eyes and raised his neck to face his end. Swish! The long knife fell, and blood spattered everywhere. "Muing Bua?" Lu Yun looked puzzled. He didn't remember such a person. However, there seemed to be someone with the surname Mu. Lu Yun unconsciously thought of Mu Qinyun, who had personally visited him and given him a meridian pill. "Muing Bua, isn't he the housekeeper of Breeze Mountain Villa?" Lu Tsang asked in confusion. "We have no interaction or grudges between Spirit Creek Village and Breeze Mountain Villa. Why would he want Sky Wind Stronghold to wipe out our village?" Several others also looked worried, as Breeze Mountain Villa was far beyond comparison to Sky Wind Stronghold. Breeze Mountain Villa had not only spread its business throughout Cloudwater County and the surrounding counties, but also possessed formidable power. Its villa master, Mu Qinfeng, was a true Qi realm expert and one of the most powerful people in Cloudwater County. Though Lu Yun was strong, they believed that he couldn't possibly be a match for Mu Qinfeng. Is it possible that our Spirit Creek Village is ultimately doomed and will become history? Lu Yang felt an infinite sadness in his heart. Don't talk about such demoralizing things." Lu Tsangxing snorted coldly. Breeze Mountain Villa is different from Sky Wind Stronghold. They wouldn't dare to openly target us, Spirit Creek Village. Or else they would no longer want to have a foothold in Cloudwater County, or even within Morrijin territory. Liu Yang's face still showed worry. It's easy to avoid open attacks, but it's hard to guard against hidden ones. Even if they want make a move themselves, they may still hire someone else to do it. While Lu Songxing and the others were discussing, Lu Yun had already silently left the ancestral hall. Chapter 81. A visit to Breeze Mountain Villa. Breeze Mountain Villa is dozens of miles away from Spirit Creek Village, and Lu Yun went there overnight. Traveling swiftly, he finally arrived at the foot of Breeze Mountain Villa at midnight. At this point, it was late at night, and the bright moon in the sky quietly hid in the dense, dark clouds, making the whole world even darker and more silent. Lu Yun looked up at the Breeze Mountain Villa on the mountaintop, with dim lights flickering, his gaze calm. I really don't like killing, but you forced it on me. Since it's come to this, you can't blame me. B0XO. Calm with a push of his feet on the stirrup, the pure-blooded black horse neighed and galloped up the mountain path. When they reached halfway up the mountain, Lu Yun dismounted and silently made his way up to the top. Old Zhang, I'm a little sleepy. Take over here for a while. In front of the gate of Breeze Mountain Villa, 2 armed guards lazily leaned against a red lacquered pillar each. You're sleepy? So am I. Why don't you take over first? Old Zhang, you're too kind. You've already forgotten the secret between us so quickly. In that case, I might as well let more people know tomorrow. The guard who had spoken earlier had a pair of dead fish eyes and laughed lewdly. At these words, the guard called Old Zhang reluctantly said, all right, you take a nap first, I'll keep an eye on everything. Hee, that's more like it. The dead fish-eyed guard chuckled and sat on the ground, leaning his head against the red pillar, and slowly fell asleep. Old Zhang looked around, seeing no one, quietly took out a yellow book from his bosom, and began reading it under the dim light. I was at the exciting part last time, but it was ruined by that dead fish-eyed fellow. This time I'm going to read it to my heart's content. In just a short while, the stimulating images in the book appeared before his eyes. Dancing dragon's tail, regretful dragon, flying dragon in the sky, dragon fights in the wild. Each time he saw a new pose, Old Zhang's pupils grew larger, and his expression became more excited. While reading, blood unconsciously flowed from his nose. It seems I've had too many supplements lately. Old Zhang casually wiped the blood from his nose, his gaze continuing to rest on the images in the book, engrossed. I never knew there were so many poses for fighting. I must find time to go to the city and practice with Little Peach. After reading half of it, Old Zhang stretched lazily, feeling full of energy, and even felt like he could perform the 7 in, 7 out if the conditions allowed. Was there wind just now? Old Zhang rubbed his eyes, looked left and right, but the rattan vines hanging from the wall didn't move at all. There's beauty in the book. One better continue reading. Then, his attention was once again immersed in the images of the book. At this moment, the villa master's study was brightly lit. Mu Qingfeng stood with his hands behind his back, appreciating the calligraphy on the table. 4 vigorous and bold characters were written in ink on the calligraphy. Great goodness is like water. The ink was not yet dry, showing that it had been written not long ago. Next to Mu Qingfeng stood a thin middle-aged man, with one hand on his abdomen and the other behind his back. This man was the great manager of Breeze Mountain Villa, Muingbua. The villa master's calligraphy is not only at the entry level, strong and vigorous, but also deep and profound in its meaning, transcending the mundane, with far-reaching intentions. As Muingbua spoke, the hand on his abdomen waved from time to time, but it always maintained a certain rhythm, which had something to do with the rhythm of his speech. Calligraphy requires regular practice, one cannot slack off, otherwise it will become rusty over time. Mu Qingfeng shook his head and asked indifferently, "What about the matter Yun'er entrusted to us?" Mu Ingba's eyes were cold and harsh, flashing ominously. The first leader of Skywind's stronghold, Lu Kai, has mobilized all the elite members of the stronghold. There should be results tomorrow. A situation with no results means there will be changes, and changes lead to complications. Send someone to check it again. All right, first thing tomorrow morning, one will personally go to Spirit Creek Village. Mu Qingfeng picked up the teacup on the table, paused for a moment, and then nodded. That works too. As for Lu Kai, you handle it. Villa Master, rest assured, I have always been thorough in my work. Immediately afterward, Mu Ingbo took his leave. Just after stepping out, he suddenly felt a chill. Looking up, he saw a knife light coming towards him. The sound of thunder in the air was deafening as it approached dangerously close. Confronted by this sudden attack, Mu Ingba's mind went into momentary paralysis. By the time he reacted, he was absolutely horrified. Although he was a true Qi realm martial artist, he had no power to resist this attack. He didn't even have time to dodge. The blade went straight to his soul. Mu Ingba's severed head flew through the door gap, landing at Mu Qingfeng's feet, staining the tiger's skin on the floor with blood. The entire process had only taken an instant. Looking at the severed head with its eyes wide open in terror, Mu Qingfeng felt a shiver run down his spine. This man on the ground was no ordinary person or martial artist. He was a true Qi realm powerhouse. In a place like Cloudwater County, a single stomp from him could make the entire county shake. Yet, he was killed in the blink of an eye. This was an absurd level of strength, compelling the health-cultivating Breeze Mountain Villa Master to instantly lower his guard. Mu Qingfeng subconsciously reached for his waist, only to find his weapon absent. Glancing around, he spotted a long sword hanging in the corner of the room. He stumbled towards it, drawing it as he went. "May I ask which senior has come forward? Please show yourself." Clutching the long sword tightly, he surveyed the area outside the door but saw nothing. Mu Qingfeng raised his voice. This humble person has always been content with his lot and does not quarrel or fight with others. I do not know where one have offended the senior to warrant an attack today. Still, there was no reply, nor any sight of anyone. Just the biting cold wind blowing, making the doors and windows rattle. The more it went on like this, the more uneasy Mu Qingfeng became. He had deliberately raised his voice just now to attract the attention of the guards on duty in the villa. But now there was no sign of any activity, and the result was clear. Mu Qingfeng roared, "Who are you? Who are you, after all?" Still no answer, driving Mu Qingfeng increasingly mad. Meanwhile, his true Qi burst forth, and his sword's cold light flickered with fierce sword Qi rampaging throughout the room. "You skulking fiend, come out and face me in battle." This time there was finally a response. However, the reply was a slash that tore through the sky and cleaved the darkness of night. Seeing this slash, Mu Qingfeng's panic-stricken expression finally eased. Unknown was the most terrifying thing, especially since the enemy had instantly slain Mu Ingbo, who was in the early stages of the true Qi realm. But now that he could see this slash, he wasn't as afraid. The opponent was strong, but not overwhelmingly so. As long as I can hold on for a few moves, escape this room, escape this courtyard, they are the ones who will die. Mu Qingfeng revealed a sinister smile. As the blade's light was about to descend, he made his move, darting towards the window. Just as he leaped out, he was hit by a burst of force, sending a chill down his spine. Thud! The sound of a long knife entering flesh rang out, followed by a powerful force striking his back. "How? Is that possible?" These were the last words Mu Qingfeng uttered. From beginning to end, he did not even see the face of the person who killed him. Chapter 82. Warmth. Your strength is not bad, but your intellect is lacking. A young man in a black robe slowly emerged from the darkness, approaching Mu Qingfeng's corpse. With a flick of the tiger-head broad saber, he decapitated him. I never leave any loose ends when one take action. To prevent you from faking your death, one must do this. As Lu Yun muttered to himself and was about to leave, his gaze suddenly caught a small purple bag on the corpse. B0XO. The Sumi bag? He flicked his wrist, and the tiger-head broad saber skillfully lifted the purple Sumi bag into his hand. He then walked over to Mu Ingba's corpse, searching it thoroughly but found nothing. It seems one thought too much. Lu Yun shook his head slightly and left. After killing Mu Qingfeng and Mu Ingbua, he did not leave Breeze Mountain Villa immediately but wandered into the courtyards that seemed quite nice. Breaking doors. Killing people. No one could withstand a single strike from him. Some people even died in their sleep. After killing more than a dozen people, Lu Yun finally left with a flourish. It wasn't that he was soft-hearted. Breeze Mountain Villa was not like Skywind Stronghold or Black Tiger Gang, nor was it like White Cloud Villa, colluding with the White Lotus sect. If he really massacred everyone in Breeze Mountain Villa, it would definitely attract the government's pursuit. Only killing more than a dozen high-ranking members would make the investigation less intensive and harder to trace back to him. Even if they could trace it back to him, it would be a long time later. By that time, he would have grown into a powerful being that ordinary laws could not bind. Moreover, for Breeze Mountain Villa, which lost more than a dozen high-ranking members at once, even if it continued to exist, it would have to live in the cracks. When Lu Yun returned to Spirit Creek Village, the sky was already dawning. Xiaoyun, where did you go yesterday? How come you're just coming back now? Lu He, who was practicing saber technique, complained as he saw Lu Yun. He took the reins and tied the pure-blooded black horse to a large tree in the corner of the small courtyard. I had to make a trip back to the county town overnight, so I rushed back as soon as I could. Lu Yun explained before asking, "Where's my sister?" "She couldn't sleep because she heard that you were coming back." At this point, Lu He glanced at Lu Yun unhappily and said, "In the end, one had to lie to her, saying you had important things to discuss with the village chief, and only then did she lie down." He looked up at the sky to see the first light of dawn and said, "She should be getting up about now." Lu Yun nodded, put the tiger-head broad saber casually in a corner, moved the half-open door, and entered the somewhat dark room. "Sis, I'm back," he called out loudly. In the corner of the room, a delicate girl with rolled-up sleeves was washing vegetables. After hearing Lu Yun's voice, she used her wet arm to brush the hair out of her face and looked back at Lu Yun with a smile. "Xiaoyun, wait a moment. The meal will be ready soon." "All right, 111 help you wash the vegetables." Lu Yun also rolled up his sleeves and walked over. No, you haven't slept all night. Take a break." Lu Yu hurriedly got up, blocking the help of Lu Yun. "It's fine, I can go without sleep for days now. I'm full of energy." As he spoke, Lu Yun took the task from Lu Ye's hands. "You've really grown up, not listening to your sister anymore." Lu Yu scolded softly, turning around to take the cleaned ingredients over to the stove to cook. When brother and sister work together, they can achieve anything like cutting through metal. It didn't take long for the table to be filled with delicious steaming dishes. I could smell something good from far away. Xiaoyu's cooking skills have improved. Eldest brother Lu He entered from outside, wiping the sweat from his body with a piece of linen. He walked to the side of the table and took a deep breath with great satisfaction. Xiaoyun is back in a good mood, and the cooking is of course good. Lu Yu smiled as she picked up the chopsticks and handed them to Lu He and Lu Yun. The three siblings began to eat. During the meal, Lu Yu told Lu Yun everything that happened in Spirit Creek Village for the past 4 months and various anecdotes. Even though he wasn't too interested in listening, Lu Yun still did so obediently. Looking at the smiles on Lu He and Lu Ye's faces, Lu Yun somehow felt very calm and warm in his heart. Unfortunately, this warmth wouldn't last too long. Practicing martial arts is like swimming against the current. If you don't advance, you'll fall back. Even though Lu Yun had the panel, it was no different. After finishing their meal and Lu Yu cleared the dishes, the two brothers, Lu Yun and Lu He, went to the courtyard. Xiaoyun, take a look at my saber technique and give me some pointers. Lu He took out his hunting knife and began to display his saber technique. Whoosh whoosh. The saber technique was elusive, strange, and difficult to grasp. And the speed was extremely fast. This was the only second-rate martial art in Spirit Creek Village, called Chasing Wind Saber. Because it was related to the third-rate Breaking Wind Saber technique, Lu He had already practiced it to a small achievement and has spent a few months on it. Now he was stuck at a bottleneck and couldn't break through. As the Peak Meridian Passage realm and an expert in saber techniques, Lu Yun naturally saw the problem with Lu He's technique at a glance. He didn't point out the problem but stopped Lu He. Eldest brother, let me practice with you. Lu Yun stretched out his hand, and a hunting knife hanging in the corner of the wall appeared in his hand from afar. You really want to practice with me? Lu He looked at Lu Yun suspiciously and said, even the Meridian Passage realm's Peak Lu Kai couldn't withstand your single strike. Don't tell me you, this stinky boy, want to bloody torture me? Don't worry, I won't use true chi and will even control my strength at the level of an ordinary martial artist in the middle stage of the martial realm. Alright, just don't go back on your word. Lu He looked at Lu Yun with doubt and then took his stance. Lu Yun looked at his big brother with interest, hooked his finger, and signaled him to attack. Xiaoyun, be careful. Lu He's figure moved, turning into a blurry afterimage, and directly attacked Lu Yun. Lu Yun stood in place, with not a single bit of dodging, and directly slashed out with his knife. Bang! Lu Yun's knife was both fast and accurate, like a whip hitting Lu He's blade, causing Lu He to feel numbness in his arm and feeling like his hand was no longer his own. Too slow. Lu Yun chuckled and advanced forward. You could block it, but you didn't use more than the strength at the middle stage of the martial realm, right? Even though he said that, Lu He wasn't shocked and immediately swept his long knife horizontally towards Lu Yun. Even martial artists at the same level as him rarely could block this attack. Bang! Lu Yun blocked it with one hand, and while doing so, the blade's shadow was blurred and incredibly fast. Lu He only felt something brushing past his face. Lu Yun took another step forward and swung his knife. This knife was even faster. Lu He wanted to retreat, but the speed was too fast, and he couldn't dodge it in time. Bang! The blade's light flashed, and it accurately squeezed onto the hilt of Lu He's knife, causing Lu He to feel pain in his hand. The hunting knife in his hand seemed to be hit by some heavy force, and it was snatched out of his hand all at once. Looking at the hunting knife stuck in the ground and then at his empty right hand, Lu He felt frustrated. He attacked first but was defeated miserably after only 2 moves. I lost. Lu He stood in place, somewhat disheartened. I noticed that the saber technique you practiced earlier emphasized speed, but when you practiced and fought, you emphasized strength. To put it bluntly, you like to use brute force, which is the reason you haven't been able to break through the bottleneck. After hearing that, Lu He's eyes lit up. It seemed to make some sense, but he couldn't help but say, even using brute force, I still couldn't stop your knife. Did you use more power than at the middle stage of the martial realm? Lu Yun smiled bitterly and explained, the reason I could repel you is that I have skills. Just by exerting a little force, I can achieve the effect of lifting 1,000 pounds. Skills. Lu He's eyes lit up when he heard this. Let's not talk about the skills for now. First, focus on improving your speed, and after breaking through the bottleneck of the saber technique, I'll teach you. Okay. Chapter 83. Entry level of Golden Sun Refining Technique. Name: Lu Yun. Power: Flying Spirit Martial Academy. Martial Arts. Breaking Wind Saber Technique. Perfection: cannot be promoted. Mix Origin Technique. Perceive Truth: cannot be promoted. Pure Yang Aura. Perceive Truth: cannot be promoted. 7 Kill Saber Technique. Reach Profound: cannot be promoted. Black Tiger Saber Technique. Perfection: cannot be promoted. Gale Thunder Flash Step. Great Accomplishment 20%. Golden Sun. Refining technique, pre-entry. Innate talent, level 6, martial arts. Meridian passage realm peak, 14 meridians. 12 positive meridians, Ren-in meridian, Duyang meridian, B0XO. Calm Way energy value, 1 conception, slaughter conception, first rank 5%. After upgrading the Black Tiger Saber technique and Gale Thunder Flash Step by 1 level each, Lu Yun's energy value was left with only 1. Among them, the Black Tiger Saber technique had reached its limit when it was upgraded to perfection. Of the 7 martial arts, Gale Thunder Flash Step had already reached great accomplishment and could continue to be upgraded. As for the remaining Golden Sun refining technique, although it had not yet reached entry level, he had enough confidence to cultivate it to entry level in a short time. So many martial arts made Lu Yun feel somewhat unreal. It would already be considered a heaven-defying talent if someone could upgrade one of them to perfection in such a short time. But Lu Yun had upgraded all of them to their limits, and even had a conception on his body. Looking at the introduction of the long list of martial arts in the panel, Lu Yun thought that it would be great if he could hide or merge them with each other. Every time he opened the panel in the future, he would see an endless list of martial arts, which gave him a headache. Shaking his head slightly, after eliminating the unrealistic thoughts, Lu Yun focused and began to practice the Golden Sun refining technique. As long as he refined the true qi in his whole body once, the Golden Sun refining technique would be considered entry-level. All of Lu Yun's true qi had been transformed into pure yang aura. What he had to do was refine the pure yang aura. After refining the pure yang aura 9 or 10 times, transforming it into pure yang strong origin, it would become the transforming origin realm. How long will it take for my first refining, since my pure yang aura is more than 10 times that of others? The first refining of true qi is the simplest and takes the shortest time. The further along, the more difficult it becomes to refine true qi, and the longer it takes. Lu Yun was deeply focused. Since comprehending the slaughter conception, he could introspect his dantian. Before that, he could only have a vague understanding. In the dantian, pure yang aura was like a big sun, with the highest temperature in the middle and a halo on the edge. Before opening the Ren-in meridian and Duyang meridian, there was a lot of pure yang aura, but it didn't overflow the dantian. There was also a benefit. The overflowing pure yang aura in the dantian would not overflow out of the body but flow through various parts of the body, subtly enhancing Lu Yun's physical body. Exiting introspection, Lu Yun had a rough understanding of the changes in his body. If he didn't cultivate and let this pure yang aura enhance his body, in just 1 or 2 years, his body would be so strong that it wouldn't fear any weapon below a true artifact. Obviously, this was the characteristic of pure yang aura, extremely rigid and yang. Focusing his mind, Lu Yun sat cross-legged on the bed and began to refine his aura according to the Golden Sun refining technique. Time slowly passed. In the blink of an eye, 10 days had passed. Lu Yun came out of his cultivation state, and after 10 days of hard work, he was close to refining 60% of his aura. It had to be said that the amount of his pure yang aura was really too much, completely beyond his imagination. This made him both happy and depressed. His level 6 innate talent placed him at the top of the pyramid in the entire Spirit Martial Prefecture. After 10 days and nights of bitter cultivation, he had not even completed his first refining. If anyone else knew about this, he really wouldn't be able to show his face. Focusing his mind and looking into his dantian. At this moment, there was still a lot of pure yang aura in the dantian, but it was barely overflowing and showed no signs of overflowing. Moreover, the pure yang aura seemed to be divided into 2 parts. One part was heavier, occupying the lower part of the dantian, while the other part was lighter, occupying the upper part of the dantian. The space occupied by the pure yang aura in the lower part of the dantian looked smaller, but actually had a larger amount and better quality. Refined pure yang aura, of course, would be more powerful than unrefined pure yang aura. For example, the pure yang aura in the dantian now appeared like two hovering sun-melting furnaces in the upper and lower part. The lower furnace had a smaller volume, but the temperature it emitted was hotter, and the light it radiated was brighter. As for this, Lu Yun didn't pay much attention, and he focused his mind on the panel again. At this time, the progress of the golden sun refining technique still showed as pre-entry, but it had already reached 67%. The progress was really slow, but it was within expectations. The slower the refining speed, the stronger the foundation and the more unlimited the potential. It was very necessary for geniuses with fast cultivation progress to take more time to strengthen and consolidate their foundation. Checking the energy value on the panel, it had accumulated to 3 at this time. Since his innate talent had been promoted to level 6, he could automatically increase 1 energy value every 5 days. He practiced for 10 days, adding 2 energy values. Including the previous one, the total was 3. Without any hesitation, Lu Yun added it to the golden sun refining technique, and the progress increased to 70%. At the same time, the pure yang aura in the upper part of the dantian gradually refined and then entered the lower dantian after circulating through the meridians. I got a sumi bag after killing Mu Qingfeng last time, and I haven't had time to check it yet. Let me open it and see if there are any pills. Thinking of this, Lu Yun took out the sumi bag. Soon, everything inside was taken out by Lu Yun. More than 3,000 taels of silver were piled in a corner of the room. Additionally, Lu Yun now had 2 more items in his hand. One was martial arts, the rushing thunder sword technique. As he currently focused on saber techniques, he had no interest in sword techniques, so he put the rushing thunder sword technique back into the sumi bag. The other item was a pill, a full bottle of profound origin pills. Profound origin pills were used by true Qi realm martial artists, mainly to speed up the refining of true Qi, and were much more precious than meridian pills. In the pill medicine building of the Martial Academy, a bottle of profound origin pills required 500 contribution points. That was to say, the value of this bottle of profound origin pills was almost around 50,000 taels of silver. The sumi bag was worth about 30,000 taels of silver, plus the rushing thunder sword technique. Upon calculating this, Lu Yun couldn't help but hold Mu Qingfeng, who had died, in high regard, carrying more than 100,000 taels worth of items. After putting away the sumi bag, Lu Yun's gaze fell on the profound origin pills, and a glint flashed in his eyes. He now had a solution for reaching the entry level of the golden sun refining technique. There were still 10 profound origin pills in the bottle. After taking them out, Lu Yun directly refined them. He had opened up 14 meridians, greatly increasing the total pure yang aura, and with 60% of the pure yang aura having been refined, the speed of pill refinement had also greatly increased. In less than half a cup of tea, all 10 profound origin pills had been refined. At the same time, the energy value on the panel surged to 350. Without any hesitation, Lu Yun directly promoted the golden sun refining technique. After consuming 30 energy points, the golden sun refining technique instantly reached the entry level. Chapter 84. Fusion, Golden Sun 10 Refinement. At the moment when the entry level of the Golden Sun refining technique was upgraded, the pure yang aura floating inside Lu Yun's dantian began to compress and refine. After circulating through the meridians once, it returned to the dantian. After returning to the dantian, the refined pure yang aura sank towards the bottom, forcing the unrefined pure yang aura upward. This was a continuous process, and since there was still a lot of unrefined pure yang aura, it would take a relatively long time to complete. 12 hours later, the pure yang aura was finally completely refined, and the dantian was no longer in an overflowing state. B0XO. Calm. The once refined pure yang aura seemed to become heavier and remained quietly in the dantian, desperately squeezing towards the bottom of the dantian, no longer as active as before. However, Lu Yun could feel that the current pure yang aura was extremely solid, and with the same amount of pure yang aura, he could unleash even more power. With the first refinement completed, Lu Yun shifted his mind from the dantian to the fusion panel. Name: Lu Yun of Force. Flying Spirit Martial Academy Martial Arts. Breaking Wind Saber Technique Perfection Unupgradable. Mix Origin Technique Perceive Truth Unupgradable can be fused. Pure Yang Aura Perceive Truth Unupgradable can be fused. 7 Kill Saber Technique Reach Profound Unupgradable. Black Tiger Saber Technique Perfection Unupgradable. Gale Thunder Flash Step Great Accomplishment 20%. Golden Sun Refining Technique Entry Level 1% can be fused. Innate Talent Level 6 Martial Arts. True Chi Realm Early Stage One-Time Refinement. Energy Value 321 automatically added every 2 days. Conception Slaughter Conception First Rank 5%. Golden Sun Refining Technique Entry Level Advancing in Martial Arts to True Chi Realm. At this moment, Lu Yun's attention suddenly fell on the Mix Origin Technique, Pure Yang Aura, and Golden Sun Refining Technique. Because there was an additional panel for these 3 martial arts fusion, this discovery filled Lu Yun with both surprise and astonishment. Not long ago, he had complained that it would be nice to have a fusion function, and he did not expect the panel to satisfy his wish so quickly. With a thought, Lu Yun opened the fusion panel behind the Mix Origin Technique. It is found that the Mix Origin Technique can be fused with Pure Yang Aura, consuming 100 energy values. The Mix Origin Technique can be fused with the Golden Sun Refining Technique, consuming 300 energy values. Looking at this prompt, Lu Yun remained expressionless, closed the fusion panel of Mix Origin Technique, and opened the fusion panel of Pure Yang Aura. It is found that Pure Yang Aura can be fused with the Mix Origin Technique, consuming 100 energy values. Pure Yang Aura can be fused with the Golden Sun Refining Technique, consuming 1000 energy values. He calmly closed the Pure Yang Aura panel and reopened the Golden Sun Refining Technique panel. It is found that the Golden Sun Refining Technique finally, the calm on Lu Yun's face couldn't hold up any longer, and the corners of his mouth unconsciously hooked into a slight curve. Strong, it's just too strong. Lu Yun roared continuously in his heart. It could be said that the more turbulent he was before, the more insane he was now. Because his mood couldn't be suppressed any longer, it completely exploded. After a long while, Lu Yun's emotions finally calmed down again. Currently, the Golden Sun Refining Technique can only refine the Qi 9 times at its best. What will change after fusing the Mix Origin Technique and Pure Yang Aura? Thinking about this, Lu Yun immediately took action to verify his guess. With a thought, 300 energy values disappeared. At the same time, the Mix Origin Technique and the Golden Sun Refining Technique vanished from the panel. Consuming 300 energy values, Mix Origin Technique fuses with the Golden Sun Refining Technique, creating a new martial art, Golden Sun 10 Refinement. This message on the panel lasted for several breaths before disappearing. Meanwhile, a new martial art appeared in the martial art column. Golden Sun 10 Refinement, entry level 1%, can be fused. Before Lu Yun could react, a strange memory emerged in his mind, which was the incantation of the Golden Sun 10 Refinement and the experience of entering the initial stage. As Lu Yun was digesting these memories, the Pure Yang Aura in his dantian began to compress again. About 6 hours later, the Pure Yang Aura was finally compressed. The martial arts column on the panel showed that the aggressive aura had only gone through 1 refinement, but compared to before, the aura was now more refined. Golden Sun 10 Refinement. Lu Yun murmured softly, his eyes filled with shock. The Golden Sun 10 Refinement, which was fused by the Mix Origin Technique and Golden Sun Refining Technique, not only increased the number of refinements for the aggressive aura but also improved the refinement effect. Next, Lu Yun opened the fusion panel of the Golden Sun 10 refinement. The Golden Sun 10 refinement can be fused with pure Yang aura, consuming 1,300 contribution points. As expected, the more advanced the martial arts being fused, the more energy values consumed. Previously, pure Yang aura and Golden Sun refining technique required only 1,000 energy values for fusion. After the Golden Sun refining technique was upgraded a notch, it required an additional 300 energy values for fusion again. Unfortunately, I don't have any spare energy values right now. Otherwise, one would like to see the new martial arts fused by the Golden Sun 10 refinement and pure Yang aura. Lu Yun closed the fusion panel of the Golden Sun 10 refinement, and his attention fell on the other martial arts. Breaking Wind Saber Technique, Black Tiger Saber Technique, 7 Kill Saber Technique, and Gale Thunder Flash Step remained the same, without any fusion panels added. Lu Yun pondered for a moment and then muttered to himself, Mix Origin Technique, Pure Yang Aura, and Golden Sun Refining Technique are all internal cultivation technique. Is it possible that only internal cultivation martial arts can be fused? Or is there some connection between Mix Origin Technique, Pure Yang Aura, and Golden Sun Refining Technique? If that's the case, perhaps the various saber techniques can also be fused with each other. With this thought in mind, Lu Yun secretly decided to take the opportunity to try fusing several low-level saber techniques. After practicing hard for more than 10 days, Lu Yun finally finished his training. For the next few days, Lu Yun didn't practice and just quietly accompanied Lu Yu and Lu He, taking the opportunity to give Lu He some guidance on his saber technique. After a few days, Lu He finally achieved great accomplishment in the Willow Leaf Blade. At the same time, he also left the Black Tiger Saber Technique to Lu He. Of all his martial arts, he could only pass on the Breaking Wind Saber Technique, Black Tiger Saber Technique, and Rushing Thunder Sword Technique that he had obtained from Mu Qingfeng's Sumi bag. Among them, there was no need to pass on the Breaking Wind Saber Technique since both he and Lu He practiced saber techniques, so the Rushing Thunder Sword Technique could only stay in the Sumi bag. Additionally, after learning that Lu Yun had come out of seclusion, other people from Spirit Creek Village, including Deputy Village Chief Lu Tsang, hunting team leader Lu Yang, and Lu Meng, visited him frequently. Old village head Lu Tsangxing had been recuperating and adjusting his breath due to his severe injuries during this time. Among Lu Yun's peers, only Tianhu visited Lu Yun several times. Tianhu was very interested in the Flying Spirit Martial Academy and came to ask Lu Yun about it. Of course, Lu Yun only mentioned some simple things, as he didn't want to discourage Tianhu. Anyway, life in Cloud Creek Village was simple and calm, as if there is no passage of time. In the blink of an eye, another half-month had passed. It was time to leave. Chapter 85, Black Veil Mountain Range. The next morning, dawn was breaking. At the entrance of Spirit Creek Village, Deputy Chief Lu Tsang led many villagers to bid farewell to Lu Yun. After the incident at Sky Wind Stronghold, the villagers of Spirit Creek Village were profoundly grateful to Lu Yun. The children were filled with admiration and respect, their gazes towards Lu Yun shining brightly. Lu Yun, Spirit Creek Village will always be there for you. If one day you are weary and do not wish to climb further on your martial arts journey, Spirit Creek Village and the villagers will always welcome you, said Lu Tsang, looking at Lu Yun with a serious tone. B0XO. Calm even though he knew it was almost impossible, he was ready to make the promise. This was the commitment of all the villagers of Spirit Creek Village. All because Lu Yun had saved everyone during a critical moment, preventing a massacre in Spirit Creek Village. All because of Lu Yun's potential to slaughter a Meridian Passage Realm Peak martial artist, despite his young age. Xiaoyun, you are the pride of Spirit Creek Village, as well as the pride of me and Lu Yu. We're waiting for your name to be known throughout the world. He patted Lu Yun's shoulder, laughing out loud, his eyes full of pride. It won't be long, Lu Yun said with a smile, glancing at Lu Yu by his side. Lu Yu, who had grown taller, was only half a head shorter than Lu He. She tiptoed, affectionately ruffling Lu Yun's hair. Her eyes were filled with tenderness and love. She pressed her lips together, trying to say something, but she could not find the words. After a long time, her eyes began to fill with tears, and she finally managed to choke out, "Xiaoyun, I know you have great talent and strength, but I still need to remind you, be careful when you are outside." Although she had only received education for a short period, she knew that her brother was destined to soar. A small village like Spirit Creek Village could not hold him back. Only a place that was bigger and further could truly be his stage. What she could do was to silently support him, watching him grow and take flight. Looking at the proud Lu He and the tearful, reluctant Lu, Lu Yun's normally placid mood was greatly stirred. He wanted to stay, to enjoy the warmth of his family, and the peace and tranquility of Spirit Creek Village. But he immediately disregarded this dangerous thought. The peacefulness and tranquility of the weak were temporary and vulnerable. Once a powerful external force intervened, everything would be shattered in an instant. Just like the attack from Sky Wind Stronghold. If Lu Yun had not arrived in time, Spirit Creek Village would have been a river of blood. Only the truly strong can last. Only absolute power can be eternal. With these thoughts in mind, Lu Yun's determination to leave was further strengthened. "Sis, eldest brother, am leaving." With these words, Lu Yun glanced at the people who had come to see him off, smiled and nodded, then resolutely mounted his horse. "Go!" With a harsh shout, the pure-blooded black horse suddenly accelerated, turning into a black shadow, quickly disappearing from the entrance of the village. Lu Tianhu stared at the distance, the place where Lu Yun had disappeared. He clenched his fist and muttered to himself, "Lu Yun, the gap between us is getting bigger and bigger, but one will never forget our promise." His voice was very soft, so soft that it was drowned out by the gradually rising wind. Leaving Spirit Creek Village, the sun began to rise. The golden morning sunlight spilled down, casting a golden hue over the entire land. A man and horse were racing across the golden land, their long shadows chasing after them. "I've been delayed in Spirit Creek Village for so long, I wonder if there have been any changes to the task." Initially, he had planned to stay in Spirit Creek Village for a short period before leaving. But things didn't go as planned, and he ended up staying a whole month. The task doesn't have a time limit, and according to the steward, the demon beast shouldn't have left. Delaying for a month or two probably doesn't matter too much. With these thoughts, Lu Yun felt much more relaxed and his speed also slowed down. Passing through the official road, mountain paths, and small roads, Lu Yun appeared outside a dilapidated village late in the evening. Standing at the outskirts of the village, one could see the wild grass along the village roads flourishing and the wheat in the fields thick and healthy, forming a stark contrast with the decrepit-looking village from a distance. According to the task, when the authorities found this place, the villagers had all perished, with no survivors. Moreover, this was the last place where the demon beast was seen. This being a mission from the Martial Academy, and only this village being mentioned in the description, indicates that the demon beast is near this village. However, there are no human settlements for tens of miles around this village. Where could the demon beast be? Lu Yun did not enter the village. Instead, he found a place with a clear view and observed the surrounding terrain. Just as he expected, the vast space to the southwest of the village was pitch black. With a grin, Lu Yun spurred his horse and headed in that direction. About an hour later, a dark mountain range appeared in the distance. If I'm not mistaken, the demon beast must have fled into this mountain range. Murmuring to himself, Lu Yun made his way swiftly towards the mountain range. The Black Veil mountain range is currently in lockdown and is off-limits to unauthorized personnel. Just as Lu Yun was about to enter the mountain range, 2 martial artists dressed in black armor suddenly appeared and stopped Lu Yun. Oh, so this is the Black Veil mountain range, Lu Yun thought while scanning the 2 men. Both men were in the late stages of the enter-martial realm, dressed in black armor with resolute expressions, unlike ordinary martial artists. Curious, he asked, "Who are you people? Why are you blocking my way?" "I'll say it once more, unauthorized personnel are not allowed to enter," one of the men in black armor coldly repeated. "What if I must enter?" "2 outcomes. One is death by my blade, or death in the mountains." Lu Yun was taken aback. "What makes you say that?" The other black-armored martial artist, who looked friendlier, explained, "We are members of the Black Tiger Army under the command of Wang Juanhao, tasked with guarding this area to prevent local villagers from entering the Black Veil Mountain, and to prevent the demon beast inside from causing harm. I can see that you are somewhat skilled, but I advise you to return where you came from to avoid losing your life." A spark of understanding flashed in Lu Yun's eyes, and he continued to probe. "Why don't you go into the mountains to eliminate the demon beast entirely, so that you don't have to guard here for a long time?" The man in black armor replied, "It's an order from our superiors, we cannot defy it." "I see. Impudent child, you've asked enough. If you don't wish to die, go back." Lu Yun ignored the man and said to the other one, "Since you're just idle here, help me take care of my horse for a while." With those words, Lu Yun moved. He jumped off his horse, and leaped over the 2 men before touching foot on a distant tree and disappearing into the woods in a blink of an eye. The 2 men in black armor looked at each other, their gazes moving between the horse Lu Yun left behind and the tree where he had disappeared. "This is at least 10 meters, right? No run-up, no borrowing strength. He just jumped over." The man who had been scolding Lu Yun looked shocked. "Give it a try then, see if you can jump that far." The amiable black-armored martial artist retorted sarcastically, "That was clearly a jump, but it felt more like flight." Chapter 86. Found entering the depths of the old mountain forest, there was utter silence. The sunlight was blocked by dense branches and leaves of towering trees, leaving only faint rays to seep through the cracks, nourishing a few fortunate flowers and plants. Walking on the dark, damp ground, the occasional crunching sound of fallen leaves crumbling could be heard. Lu Yun moved quickly through the dense forest. Although Black Veil Mountain Range wasn't connected to the endless deep mountains like Cloud Dream Mountain Range, nor was it a branch of the 100,000 Mountains, but its scope was vast, making it difficult to find the 3rd-rank demon beast in a short amount of time. B0XO. Calm, sure. While moving rapidly, Lu Yun suddenly heard a faint sound. Since comprehending the slaughter conception, his hearing and vision had greatly improved. Even the slightest rustling of grass couldn't escape his perception, let alone in such a quiet environment. There! Lu Yun's gaze shifted towards the left front. In the distance, a cluster of thorny bushes began emitting a clearly audible rustling sound, followed by a black head slowly emerging. It seemed to be a snake, sticking out its long forked tongue, its dark red eyes cold and staring calmly at the human before it. Whoosh! Its figure suddenly moved, instantly shooting towards Lu Yun like a black arrow. Lu Yun didn't even draw his blade, or with the casual burst of aggressive aura, he cut it in half, the pieces falling at his feet. "I thought it was something big, but it turned out to be just a little snake." Muttering to himself, Lu Yun stepped on the struggling head, crushing it into a pile of mush, and walked away without looking back. In Morijin, apart from the branch mountain ranges of the 100,000 Mountains, other mountain ranges had very few demon beasts, only some unenlightened wild animals and insects. Of course, occasionally some demon beasts would break through the defensive line for some reason and enter Morijin. A single demon beast entering the defense line could cause considerable damage to the people inside. Lu Yun's current mission objective was to locate an unknown demon beast that had accidentally broken through the defense line. After slaughtering a village, it fled into the Black Veil Mountain Range. Of course, the Black Veil Mountain Range would be its burial ground. Lu Yun sped up, going deeper into the mountain range. On the other hand, after Lu Yun forcefully entered the Black Veil mountain range, the two black-armored martial artists immediately reported the incident to their superior, the squad leader. Eventually, the squad leader reported it to the captain. The captain, leading 100 soldiers, along with the unique system of the Black Tiger Army, had an enter-martial realm cultivation level as an ordinary soldier. This captain, named Chun Fan, was in the middle stage of the True Qi realm. He obeyed the command of the supervisor, Wang Juanhao, to chase down the third-rank demon beast that had entered the line of defense and finally tracked it down to the Black Veil mountain range. Later, due to the intervention of Flying Spirit Martial Academy, it was made into a trial task for the disciples. So, that young man must be a disciple of Flying Spirit Martial Academy. Keep a close watch on him. Report to me after he leaves the mountain, said Chin Fan, clad in armor, with a chivalrous demeanor and an imposing aura. What if he dies? The squad leader asked uneasily. Then it means he's a waste. It's better if he dies. He would only waste resources if he lived. Chen Fan spoke indifferently, as if describing a very mundane matter. On the summit of a high mountain in the Black Veil mountain range, Lu Yun crouched at the highest point, looking down at the distance. I've been in the Black Veil mountain range for more than 10 days, searching for almost half of the range, but there's still no trace of that demon beast. Lu Yun felt helpless. If he had known earlier that the situation was like this, he wouldn't have accepted the task, as it was both laborious and time-consuming. During these days in the Black Veil mountain range, Lu Yun's only gain was improving his Gale Thunder Flash step to a 30% great accomplishment level. This was the result of his own hard practice, without the help of energy values. He still needed nearly 1,000 energy values to fuse Golden Sun 10 refinement and Pure Yang aggressive aura, so he couldn't afford to squander them. Of course, the great accomplishment Gale Thunder Flash Step was enough for him to use, which was also the reason why he could search almost half of the Black Veil mountain range in just over 10 days. I'll search for 10 more days. If I still can't find it in 10 days, I'll give up the task. With that thought in his mind, Lu Yun moved his body, seeming to have thunder brewing beneath his feet, and he disappeared from the mountaintop. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The deeper Lu Yun went into the Black Veil mountain range, the thicker the accumulated snow was, as if it was a perennially unmelting snowy mountain, filled with cold air. Lu Yun performed the Gale Thunder Flash step, moving quickly while searching and looking for traces of the demon beast. A few days later. Huh! Lu Yun's ear suddenly twitched. His swiftly moving figure stopped immediately, looking towards a high ground and murmuring to himself, "It seems that the movement is coming from over there." Soon, he arrived at the high ground, stealthily poking his head out and looking forward. In the distance was a large lake, like a mirror embedded among the peak. The ice peaks, blue sky, and white clouds were reflected in the lake, forming a beautiful picture. Next to the lake, there was a large group of snow-white wolves. They came in groups of 3s and 5s, either drinking water or laying half asleep on the grass by the shore. At first glance, there had to be over 100 wolves. Not far from the pack of wolves, several large beasts lay on the ground, wild pigs, wild bulls, and the like. They groaned in pain, lying on their backs or stomachs, bleeding heavily. The most critical wounds were around their neck. Suddenly, ripples appeared in the emerald-green lake water as bubbles began to emerge. Boom! A loud explosion rang out, followed by a giant water column shooting up into the sky. From it, a large silvery figure emerged. Surprisingly, it was a giant silver wolf. This silver giant wolf was much larger than the other snow wolves, its fur emitting a faint silver glow, giving it a striking, beautiful appearance. As it emerged from the water, the snow wolves playing in the water or lazily sleeping woke up, howling up at the sky, as if paying homage to the silver giant wolf. "I've finally found you," Lu Yun grinned, revealing a small smile. He didn't expect the silver moon wolf to live such a comfortable life after fleeing to the Black Veil mountain range. Not only did it rule here, but it also found such an excellent place. Lu Yun stared at the silver moon wolf being served by numerous snow wolves by the lake, feeling quite touched. However, now that I've found you, your good days have come to an end. Kill. A cold glint flashed in Lu Yun's eyes, and his body quickly charged towards the lakeshore. Although there were many snow wolves and they were quite large, they were just wild animals. Even slightly more powerful martial realm martial artists couldn't defeat them, so they naturally didn't catch Lu Yun's eye. After performing the Gale Thunder Flash step, his speed was terrifying, and in the blink of an eye, he arrived at the lakeshore. At the same time, his sudden intrusion broke the tranquility here. Roar! A deep, resonant sound came from the silver moon wolf's mouth. Whoosh whoosh whoosh! All the snow wolves instantly raised their heads, their scarlet eyes fixed on Lu Yun, their legs rubbing against the ground in preparation for attack. Chapter 87. Solving the problem. Roar! The silver moon wolf let out a long howl, and the snow wolves, like soldiers receiving a command, instantly charged at Lu Yun. Facing so many snow wolves, an ordinary true Qi realm martial artist might have to temporarily avoid their sharpness. Lu Yun didn't think about it that much and transformed into a lightning bolt, rushing into the group of snow wolves. Die! B0XO! Calm. Lu Yun swung his tiger-head broad saber in his hand. Whoosh! The broad saber was like a lightning flash, fast as a bolt of lightning, with the sound of breaking wind echoing throughout. In the instant when the broad saber slashed, there were also gusts of fierce wind howling. To slaughter these snow wolves, Lu Yun did not need a powerful saber technique. The lowest-ranking breaking wind saber technique was enough. The snow wolves hadn't completely rushed up yet and were already met with Lu Yun's active attack. You're too weak. Lu Yun had no trace of mercy in his heart. The saber light suddenly flickered, and 2 snow wolves were cut down. Although their bodies were strong, their defense was far weaker compared to demon beasts. Demon beasts absorb the essence of heaven and earth, refine precious materials, and have an incredibly powerful flesh body. These wild beasts had not yet gained spirituality. Besides having some primal strength and innate speed, they had no other advantages. Sweeping thousands of armies. Knife light scattered across the sky, cutting open the stomachs of more than a dozen snow wolves that pounced. None of their bodies remained intact, and their crimson blood stained the snowfields red. Breaking through leaven and earth. The second move of Breaking Wind's saber technique was even more powerful than the first move, sweeping thousands of armies. The snow wolves within several yards of Lu Yun all seemed to be hit by a terrifying storm, blasted away by a tremendous force. Breaking through heaven and earth. In an instant, the space within several dozen yards around Lu Yun was enveloped by dense and powerful saber light, and the saber aura rampantly moved about. Under such a terrifying and powerful attack, there was no longer a snow wolf standing intact in the vicinity. Fragments of broken bodies were scattered all over the ground, and the originally pure white snowfield was stained with a layer of bloody red color. Roar, roar, roar! Far away, there were more than a dozen snow wolves that seemed to be the leaders of the pack. At this time, they were shivering all over under the pressure of Lu Yun's powerful aura, continuously retreating. Howl! The silver moon wolf, covered in silver-white fur, let out a loud roar, commanding the remaining snow wolves to continue charging, intending to tear the approaching human to pieces. However, the remaining snow wolf leaders' fear of Lu Yun had completely surpassed their awe of the silver moon wolf. They were no longer obedient, shivering and retreating towards the rear. Unintelligent but quite sensible, Lu Yun didn't bother with these snow wolves that were as weak as ants, focusing intently on the silver moon wolf in the distance, which was his goal in this journey. At this moment, the silver moon wolf saw the snow wolves not only halting but also constantly retreating, and it became furious out of shame. It bit the neck of the snow wolf closest to it. Whimper! That snow wolf merely let out a whimper before it was completely lifeless. Even so, the other snow wolves didn't stop retreating. Roar! The silver moon wolf made another move, and another snow wolf died beneath its claws. Such was the pity of the weak ones, always unable to control life and death. Whether facing Lu Yun or the silver moon wolf, they were too weak to resist. How tragic and unfortunate! Unable to resist, they could only run away. In the blink of an eye, the remaining snow wolves fled in all directions, and the silver moon wolf could not stop them all, allowing them to escape freely. At this, Lu Yun did not interfere either. All his attention was focused on the silver moon wolf. If he accidentally let it escape, the vast Black Veil mountain range would be enough for him to search for it. Though Lu Yun had killed over 100 snow wolves with his thunderous tactics, his true strength was still about the same as that of a martial artist at the beginning of the true Qi realm. Thus, the silver moon wolf did not feel too threatened and did not have any intention to retreat. Its front paw kept rubbing the ground, quickly creating a snow pit. The silver moon wolf was very patient. It did not attack right away, instead, it observed Lu Yun, waiting for the right opportunity. However, Lu Yun did not have that much patience. As soon as he realized that the silver moon wolf had no intention to escape, he made his move. For him, as long as the silver moon wolf did not flee immediately, he was confident that he could kill it. With a thrust from his right foot, Lu Yun leaped. His speed and the aura he exuded were still at the level of a regular martial artist in the early true Qi realm. Die! When he was at a certain distance, Lu Yun's speed suddenly increased, while his aggressive aura exploded from within his body, frightening the silver moon wolf and causing it to shudder. Without any hesitation, the silver moon wolf started running, heading towards the dense forest on the right. Unfortunately, it was too late. The moment Lu Yun fully erupted, the fate of the silver moon wolf was sealed. Whoosh! With a full-force display of the great accomplishment Gale Thunder Flash Step, Lu Yun's speed instantly experienced a qualitative improvement. It seemed like there were thunder flashes under his feet, several times denser than before, like a thunderbolt of light. With a whoosh, he left a phantom behind him. He quickly chased after the silver moon wolf and stepped on its back, then slashed it with his saber. Boom! The saber light was as condensed as water, several dozen feet long, directly piercing through the howling cold wind and falling on the neck of the silver moon wolf, cutting through the thick fur, wolf skin, muscles, bones. All were severed. The speed was incredibly fast, the strength was overwhelming, and the blade was extremely sharp, far exceeding the limits of the silver moon wolf's physical defenses. Under this slash, its body, which was harder than steel, was as fragile as a piece of paper. With the fall of the blade, the enormous head of the silver moon wolf flew. In the eyes of the flying head there was disbelief. It was not aware of how its pursuer caught up, or how it was suddenly broken into by such a sharp blade, severing its neck and cutting off its head. With a plop, the silver moon wolf's head was embedded in the snow, while its sturdy body collapsed with a boom. Thus, a third-rank demon beast perished. Let's go. After killing the silver moon wolf, Lu Yun didn't hesitate. Thunder flickered beneath his feet as he turned into a stream of lightning and rushed out of the Black Veil mountain range. Upon leaving the Black Veil mountain range, Lu Yun did not need to search for demon beasts. In less than a day, he completely exited the gloomy and dense Black Veil mountain range. Those 2 Black Tiger Army soldiers were still waiting at the spot, along with a well-fed, pure-blood black horse. Thank you both for watching the horse. Lu Yun gave a light laugh, leaped onto the horse, and rode away, leaving the 2 Black Tiger Army soldiers dumbfounded. We didn't even get a chance to ask him anything, and he just left? Let's go report this to the squad leader. Reporting to Captain, my soldiers didn't manage to inquire any information before the Martial Academy disciple rode away, said the squad leader, reporting to Chen Fan right away. I see. Chen Fan responded indifferently, then immediately ordered, Command all the Black Tiger Army soldiers stationed in the Black Veil mountain range to return to camp. Forget about the demon beast? The squad leader was slightly taken aback, asking with confusion. I just received the news that Silver Moonwolf has been killed by the Martial Academy disciple. Our mission is completed. Return to camp immediately, Chen Fan replied. Yes, sir. The squad leader saluted and left. Chapter 88, 10th floor. Half a month later, Lu Yun returned to the Flying Spirit Martial Academy. This mission had taken nearly 3 months to complete. Fortunately, when he returned to the academy and handed in the mission at the demon-slaying area, the steward didn't ask many questions. After confirming the news, he directly allocated 800 contribution points to Lu Yun. Lu Yun also noticed that the steward seemed to have received the news of him slaying the Silver Moonwolf long ago. However, he didn't pay much attention to it. After leaving the task hall, he went straight to the Myriad Phenomena Tower. B0XO. Calm this time, he entered quietly without attracting anyone's attention. Myriad Phenomena Tower, 9th floor. 50 monohorn wild boars, each at the 2nd rank peak level demon beast. The moment they saw Lu Yun, they all roared loudly and rushed towards him. Seeking death. Lu Yun snorted coldly and transformed into a thunderbolt of lightning, dashing into the group of monohorn wild boars. Long sword unsheathed, lightning flashed brightly across the blade. In a flash of the sword light, several monohorn wild boars were cut. The sword light flickered continuously. Lu Yun moved forward in a straight line, cutting through the encircling monohorn wild boars with ease, creating a huge gap in their rank. Looking back, only 2/3 of the 52nd rank peak monohorn wild boars remained. In a single charge, he killed more than a dozen monohorn wild boars. While in the Black Veil mountain range, he killed hundreds of snow wolves in an instant, leaving only a few scattered survivors. At that time, his strength was merely at the early stage of the true Qi realm. From this, it could be seen that those snow wolves were simply incomparable to the 2nd rank demon beast. Seeing the monohorn wild boars regrouping to attack once again, Lu Ye's eyes turned cold. Last time I scared the wits out of you, and after a short time apart, you became this audacious again. It seems you haven't learned your lesson. Since that's the case, die completely for me. Kill! Lu Yun swung his sword in an instant. A barrage of furious slashes rained down. Whoosh 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 whoosh. One by one, sword lights several meters long flew out, and in the blink of an eye, Lu Yun had slashed dozens of times. Dozens of sword lights attacked the charging monohorn wild boars. Last time, he had used a similar technique, which cost him most of his aggressive aura but also made all the monohorn wild boars tremble with fear. This time, using the same technique, consumed only a small part of his aggressive aura. Yet, the power he displayed was much more domineering and terrifying than before. The condensed and sharp sword light caused the 9th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower's space to fluctuate. The energy collided wildly, releasing densely packed arc-shaped sword lights. The monohorn wild boars couldn't react in time. Puff puff puff, the powerful and terrifying sword light slashed through. In an instant, the remaining 30-odd monohorn wild boars were all killed. The 9th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower was nothing more than this. With all the monohorn wild boars slain, the vortex door to the 10th floor appeared once again. By now, several months had passed since he had cleared the 8th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. Passing through the 9th and 10th floors in one go was still impressive, but not to the point of being unbearable to others. Thus, Lu Yun didn't hesitate to stride into it. Myriad Phenomena Tower, 10th floor. The environment in this floor was completely different from the previous 9 floors. It was a vast snowy jungle. The heavy snowfall made the surrounding temperature drop drastically. The chilling air surged toward Lu Yun, only to be extinguished by a wave of scorching heat before it could touch him. Lu Yun carried his tiger-head broad saber and moved forward. Soon, he saw a huge cave in front of him. Several giant white bears were frolicking outside the cave. Each of these white bears had a massive physique, standing nearly 10 meters tall with high bulging shoulders, showcasing their astonishing strength. In the cold environment, their long fur covered their bodies, making them look like they were wearing a layer of natural white armor. These white bears look very strong with terrifying defense, but there are only about 10 of them, and they are only at the second-rank peak level. Lu Yun observed and made a judgment right away. This is definitely not all of them. There must be even more or even stronger white bears hidden. Before he could determine where other potentially hidden demon beasts were, the dozen or so giant bears stopped playing and stood tall, staring at Lu Yun, the uninvited guest. Roar! One of the giant bears suddenly moved, waving its strong arms and sprinting towards Lu Yun. Its massive body did not slow it down but instead provided a great momentum to its charge. The ground shook and the trees swayed as it rushed towards him, an unstoppable sight. As the giant bear charged, the other bears did not take action right away. In their eyes, their companion was more than enough to deal with this tiny intruder. Lu Yun stood calmly in the snow, watching the incoming giant bear. The giant bear's charge caused its fur to tremble constantly, releasing powerful vibrations that shook the snow off the surrounding trees. Roar! As the giant bear neared Lu Yun, it leaped into the air, its massive body crashing down on Lu Yun as if a mountain was pressing down on him. Lu Yun didn't move. He simply raised his tiger-head broadsaber, stabbing it towards the rapidly descending giant bear. Chi! The long sword seemed to effortlessly penetrate something, going straight through without any resistance. Lu Yun looked at the giant bear that was impaled on his tiger-head broadsaber like a small mountain, a strange expression on his face. He thought to himself, "You insisted on trying to sit on me with your butt, and now you've tasted the bitterness." The tiger-head broadsaber had pierced deeply through the giant bear's but like a long spear. Oh! Feeling the pain from its anal region, the giant bear finally let out a skyward roar. Its painful groaning echoed throughout the forest. Rotating the sword slightly, completely sinking it into the giant bear's body, the sword aura dispersed, rampaging inside the bear and destroying life energy within. Feeling that it was enough, Lu Yun pulled out the blade. The giant bear's huge body fell heavily from the air, fresh blood gushing out of its anal wound. It seems that even for a giant bear, the anus remains a weak spot on the body. Lu Yun evaluated quietly, raising his head to look at the cave in the distance, where he sensed there were more and even stronger giant bears. Just as he looked up, the dozen or so giant bears glared at Lu Yun with eyes filled with hatred and murderous intent, roaring furiously and rushing towards him simultaneously. They had initially not taken Lu Yun, this tiny intruder, seriously. However, to their surprise, this seemingly insignificant intruder had managed to kill one of their companions with a single strike. Feeling greatly threatened, their hearts were filled with anger and hatred. Roar, roar! More than a dozen giant bears charged towards Lu Yun at once. The powerful bodies and impacts caused the ground to shake even more violently, making the surrounding trees sway more intensely. Chapter 89, Terror? Only 12, it shouldn't take too long, Lu Yun thought to himself. These giant bears have a larger body and better defense than monohorn wild boars. If one want to conserve my strength, one must target their weak spots. His gaze swept over the 12 charging giant bears. Each giant bear charged with tremendous power, and as they approached, Lu Yun found it easier to spot their weaknesses. Found it! A glint flashed in Lu Yun's eyes as he performed the Gale Thunder Flash step, dodging the simultaneous attacks from the bears. B0XO. Calm while dodging, Lu Yun struck with his blade. Schlick. The long blade entered the bear's neck and sliced horizontally. A giant bear promptly fell. Repeating his moves, he used the Gale Thunder Flash step again to avoid another round of attacks and pierced the center of another bear's forehead. Killing these second-rank demon beasts is too easy. Lu Yun found it somewhat boring, with no challenge at all. However, just at this moment, suddenly, a series of deep, masculine roars sounded from within the cave. The roars kept coming, one after another, causing Lu Yun's face to change slightly. There really were bigger monsters in the cave. As the ground shook and the mountain trembled, huge giant bears emerged from the cave. Judging from their drowsy eyes, they seemed to have just woken up. No, they must have been awakened from their deep sleep. 10, 20, 30 While dodging and slaying the giant bears, Lu Yun counted the number of bears exiting the cave. Before long, more than 30 giant bears had rushed out of the cave, encircling Lu Yun. 37 plus the initial 13 make a total of 50 giant bears. Lu Yun quickly figured out their numbers, but he had some doubts in his heart. Could it be that the 10th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower had only 50 second-rank peak demon beasts, just like the 9th floor? Of course, these giant bears were stronger than the monohorn wild boars on the 9th floor, both individually and as a group. The bears were more formidable in terms of body size and physical defense. Perhaps this is how it really is, Lu Yun murmured quietly, his eyes flashing with a cold light. He accelerated again to face the attacking giant bears. During the journey back to the Martial Academy from the Black Veil mountain range, he had not rushed but instead continuously practiced the Gale Thunder Flash step. Now, his cultivation progress in the Gale Thunder Flash step had increased to 50% mastery, making his speed even more terrifying. The furious giant bears could not touch Lu Yun's body at all. Instead, they were constantly attacked by Lu Yun, targeting their weak spots and killed with a single blow. In just less than half the time it took to drink a cup of tea, another dozen or so giant bears had fallen to the ground. Although the individual strength of demon beasts is stronger than that of a martial artist, if I had to face 50 Meridian Passage Realm Peak martial artists simultaneously, it probably wouldn't be this easy. Lu Yun looked at the chaotic, furious bears, which occasionally collided with each other, and a glint flashed in his eyes. Schlick! Schlick! A blade deeply penetrated the heart of a giant bear, and as another bear pounced, Lu Yun put away his blade and dodged. While dodging, his figure flickered, and he turned to strike with his blade once more. The aggressive aura erupted, directly cleaving through the abdomen of another bear. The giant bear's defense was terrifying, but it could not withstand a blade infused with pure yang aura. Lu Yun's consecutive slayings of several giant bears made him increasingly at ease. Unleashing the Gale Thunder Flash step, he darted among the furious giant bears. He could feel his footwork slowly improving, which was also why his attack pace was gradually slowing down. Use it and it advances. Neglect it and it regresses. This principle applied to this world as well. If I fought like this for half a month, the Gale Thunder Flash step might reach the perfection stage without needing energy points. Lu Yun couldn't help but think. Schlick! As his figure flickered, Lu Yun left a large hole in the neck of a giant bear. Boom! He made a frontal slash, and fierce power erupted. He chopped off an incoming giant bear's arm and drove the blade into its throat. When I leave, should one immediately announce that I've passed the 10th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower, or wait a while? Lu Yun continued to fight the remaining giant bears while considering his plans for the future. At that moment, an even louder roar resonated. Startled, Lu Yun's thoughts retreated, focusing his gaze on the dark cave. He saw the cave shaking violently, and 4 even larger giant bears emerged. Compared to these 4 behemoths, the previous bears seemed like mere cubs, one size smaller. As expected, the 10th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower isn't that simple. Lu Yun's eyes landed on the 4 giant bears. Among them, 3 giant bears were 2 zhang tall, and their robust bodies resembled small hills. As they moved, the surrounding trees rustled. Unsurprisingly, these 3 beasts had already broken through the limits of the 2nd rank and were genuine 3rd rank creatures. However, Lu Yun's attention was on the other giant bear. With a body 3 zhang tall, pillar-like sturdy arms, and a powerful aura that could be felt from far away, This bear symbolized the strength and terror of the opponent. The last giant bear must have reached the midway point of the third rank, Lu Yun muttered quietly, a cold glint flashing in his eyes as his terrifying aura intensified once more. His movements were ghostly as he darted among the remaining ordinary giant bears, aiming to end the battle as quickly as possible and then focus his energy on the final 4 giant bears. Grr! It seemed that upon seeing their reinforcements arriving, the remaining dozen or so giant bears became even more fearless, wildly waving their sturdy arms at Lu Yun. Though with a reduced number of bears, their cooperation improved significantly, and they no longer collided with each other like before. However, that didn't make much difference to a serious Lu Yun. The moment he decided to fight seriously, his entire aura changed. Boundless killing intent spread out, gradually enveloping an area of tens of meters. Blood-colored light sparkled in Lu Yun's eyes. At this moment, Lu Yun's aura changed drastically. There was an extremely hot, masculine heat, as well as a bone-chilling coldness. This was Lu Yun after fully unleashing the pure yang aura and the slaughter conception. He felt an unprecedented power within himself. Scumbags die. The words squeezed from Lu Yun's teeth, and his entire being transformed into a blood-red lightning bolt, charging into battle. Schlick, schlick, schlick. The second-rank peak giant bears were no match for Lu Yun. A few breaths later, only 4 giant bears remained on the 10th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. The smallest one was 2 zhang tall, and compared to it, Lu Yun was not even as thick as its leg. However, the aura emanating from Lu Yun was stronger than any of the 4 bears combined, including the giant bear that appeared to be at the middle stage of the third rank. Chapter 90. Just like that, seeking subscriptions, monthly tickets, standing not far from the 4 giant bears, Lu Yun's eyes flickered with a crimson glow. Although Lu Yun's stature was small, the invisible momentum he emitted seemed to suppress the 4 huge giant bears. His right hand held a saber, while his left hand lifted slightly, making a hooking gesture with his fingers. Roar! B0XO. Calm, seemingly aware that Lu Yun was making a provocative move, the 4 giant bears roared angrily. At the same time, their arms moved, uprooting the thick trees beside them and using them as weapons, swinging them towards Lu Yun. The formidable power caused the air to emit a booming sound, and the fierce wind could be felt from afar. Lu Yun revealed a faint cold smile, not retreating but advancing instead, as he swung his tiger-head broad saber that was imbued with slaughter conception and pure yang aura. Domineering carnage. Bang! It seemed as if a startling thunderbolt had emerged from the ground, its red and white saber light reaching nearly 5 zhang. The thick tree trunk barely touched it before it shattered. The tiger-head broad saber slammed into the head of the giant bear, which stood more than 2 zhang tall. Aggressive aura erupted, and the saber chopped down, directly splitting the incredibly hard skull. Boom! A powerful storm approached from behind, and Lu Yun flashed away, avoiding it in an instant. However, the giant bear that just had its skull split open could not dodge at all. It was hit by the incredibly thick tree trunk in its abdomen, and the powerful blow sent it flying dozens of zhang away, breaking a large number of trees before finally stopping and falling to the ground, lifeless. Seeing this scene, Lu Yun's crimson pupils contracted involuntarily. He knew that these giant bears were incredibly strong, but he didn't expect them to be this terrifying. Fortunately, they can't touch me, otherwise, if one were slapped by any one of them, no matter how strong my skills are, I wouldn't be able to use them, said Lu Yun as he quickly increased the distance between him and the other 2 bears after dodging their attacks. 3 giant bears chased after him. With his speed, Lu Yun wasn't afraid of being caught up. Boom! 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 One by one, the incredibly thick trees collapsed, sending snow flying into the air. Amidst the heavy snowfall, Lu Yun suddenly turned around and unexpectedly unleashed a saber strike. The saber light was like a startling hong, not only fast but also terrifyingly powerful. The furious giant bear, completely overtaken by rage, didn't expect Lu Yun to suddenly appear and swiftly strike with his saber. It collided head-on with the saber light. Thud! Although the giant bear's head was extremely hard with strong defense, it couldn't withstand Lu Yun's serious saber strike. After eliminating another giant bear, Lu Yun withdrew his blade and prepared to choose the right moment again. The remaining two giant bears became even more enraged, and when they realized they couldn't catch up with Lu Yun, their powerful strength crazily bombarded the surrounding thick trees. Soon, a chaotic battlefield was cleared around them. At this time, Lu Yun's saber strike suddenly arrived with the move, Domineering Carnage, from the 7 Kills saber technique. This ultimate strike not only had the blessing of pure Yang aura but also carried the slaughter conception. The giant bear was momentarily stunned by the overwhelming force as the strike neared. It was the brief pause of the giant bear that allowed the terrifying strike to accurately and relentlessly pierce its heart, passing through from the front to the back. The huge wound on the giant bear's body was not only filled with killing intent but also an intense burning sensation. Lu Yun stood with his saber, looking at the last giant bear. Even though the remaining giant bear was at the 3rd rank midstage, Lu Yun had no intention of dodging it anymore. A mere midstage rank 3 bear demon was not something he needed to avoid. Earlier, he had been cautious to prevent accidents and to continue honing his Gale Thunder Flash step. Now only one giant bear remains, unable to put any more pressure on him or help him refine his movement technique. Lu Yun decides to end the battle. Both hands firmly grip the tiger head broad saber. The once refined pure Yang aura courses through his dantian, along his meridians, finally gathering on the blade. The saber gleams and releases aggressive aura, evaporating snowflakes falling from the sky from a distance. Thunderous light flickers beneath his feet, and Lu Yun brandishes the tiger head broad saber, transforming into a bolt of lightning as he lunges. The giant bear stands on the cold ground and watches Lu Yun charge at him. When Lu Yun is about 10 zhang away, the bear suddenly opens its mouth, releasing a thunderous roar. Howl! Like a thunderclap, the terrifying sonic wave spreads out in a fan shape, the powerful force causing the surrounding snow to dance wildly while the severed limbs and trees on the ground shudder non-stop. In the face of such an intense sound wave, Lu Yun has no choice but to stop and use his aggressive aura to seal his ears, while simultaneously deploying an aura barrier around his body. Lu Yun underestimates the giant bear and is careless to fall into its trap, leaving his entire body numb and his nose bleeding. Such negligence is truly unwarranted. Boom! Seizing the opportunity of Lu Yun's negligence, the giant bear swiftly closes the distance, its mountain-like body menacingly approaching Lu Yun. The thick and sturdy bare foot stomps down, intending to crush Lu Yun into a pulp. Lu Yun's attack is only obstructed, not his body movement. He executes a quick dodge, avoiding the colossal barefoot's impact while simultaneously sending a flash of saber light towards the bear's eyes. At this moment, Lu Yun senses yet another attack coming from the left and right, realizing that it's the giant bear's paws closing in. Lu Yun abruptly stomps with one foot, and his entire body leaps up in an instant, chopping with his saber onto the giant bear's head. Clang! A crisp sound bursts forth, accompanied by sparks. This strike only managed to draw a shallow wound on the bear's head. This outcome is within Lu Yun's expectations, as he mainly focused on escaping the bear's combined claw attack earlier. Most of his strength was spent on the sudden leap. This casual strike had already exceeded his expectations. Using the rebound force of this strike, Lu Yun once again increases the distance between them. Against this brutish and agile giant bear, close-quarters combat puts Lu Yun at a disadvantage, making it difficult for him to execute his powerful saber technique. Now at a safe distance, Lu Yun's pure yang aggressive aura surges once more. At the same time, deep within his mind, a blood-red lotus suddenly blooms. Unaware of this, Lu Yun focuses all his attention on his saber. With the constantly growing radiance on the tigerhead broad saber, an intense red killing intent pervades the area within 10 zhang around him. Dying under this saber is your honor. Lu Yun firmly grasps the handle, and the diffused killing intent gathers in an instant, concentrating entirely on the tigerhead broad saber. The blood-colored saber light instantly lengthens and stretches, enveloping the entire sky in crimson. The furious giant bear casually snaps a thick tree and wildly brandishes it as a weapon, creating a massive storm aimed at Lu Yun. However, just as it approaches 10 zhang near Lu Yun, it's enveloped in a blood-red haze, filled with frenzied and sharp aggressive aura. The incomparably sturdy tree is instantly reduced to shreds, and the terrifying bear's body is penetrated, leaving it with blood-red wounds. 7-kill saber technique, desperate gambit. With the release of his saber, the blood-red saber light plummets like a crimson world descending, pulling the giant bear's enormous body with it. The blood-red saber light lasts only for a few breaths' time, but it leaves a horrifying trench in the empty snowfield, filled with a thick killing intent. As for that third-rank giant bear, it completely vanishes within the 10th level of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. The 10th level is nothing more than this. Lu Yun sheathes his saber and stands still, expressionless as he looks at the vortex-like gateway appearing before him. Chapter 91. Training and Improvement, Seeking Subscription, Monthly Ticket, Myriad Phenomena Tower's 11th floor. This space was no longer covered in snow, nor were there towering trees. Instead, there was an endless green grassland and a crystal blue sky, making it look especially comfortable. The cold expression that Lu Yun had previously left behind from using the slaughter conception instantly melted away. On the green grass, a group of tall and majestic horses leisurely wandered. These horses' bodies seemed to be burning with silver flames, with long limbs, strong physique, and crystal-like eyes. These were Windstorm's silver-scale horses, demon beasts with extremely terrifying speed. B0XO. Their backs were covered in shiny, white silver scales that emitted a powerful aura from afar. Most importantly, there were a lot of Windstorm silver-scale horses, at least 100, and each had an incredibly strong aura. In short, they were far more powerful than martial artists in the early True Qi realm. Upon seeing Lu Yun, these Windstorm silver-scale horses became agitated one by one, their bodies flickering with silver light, clearly hostile towards this uninvited guest. Although they were only demon beasts created by the Myriad Phenomena Tower, their intelligence was not weaker than real demon beasts. Lu Yun looked at these Windstorm silver-scale horses, without any intention to fight them yet. Strange, why are there so many demon beasts on each floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower? Not only were there many demon beasts, but their strength was not weak either. Disciples of the same level from the Martial Academy simply could not pass through. Take the 10th floor as an example. Most of the Martial Academy disciples in the middle of the True Qi realm, even if they could kill those second-rank peak giant bears, would absolutely not be a match for those 4 third-rank giant bears, let alone the one among them that had reached the middle of the 3rd rank. If Lu Yun wasn't so powerful with his aggressive aura, he wouldn't have easily passed the 10th floor either. While contemplating these events, a group of Windstorm silver-scale horses in the distance suddenly erupted, their hooves digging into the ground and their bodies flickering with silver light as they all attacked Lu Yun at once. Their speed was incredibly fast, almost turning into silver light as they charged, creating a vast expanse of silver, which was both shocking and surprising to Lu Yun. What a frightening speed! Even Lu Yun couldn't help but be astonished by the speed displayed by these Windstorm silver-scale horses. Besides the shock, there was also joy. Perhaps the improvement of the Gale Thunder Flash step has finally arrived. Lu Yun's figure swiftly moved like lightning, instantly traversing dozens of feet, far exceeding the speed that ordinary True Qi realm martial artists could achieve. Where Lu Yun had just left, silver light rained down like a downpour, with terrifying attacks erupting and leaving a horrifying chasm on the ground. Huff, huff, seeing their attacks miss, all of the windstorm silver scale horses immediately became furious, breathing out hot flames from their mouths, attacking ahead. TSK, they even have long-range attack. Isn't that a bit too much? Lu Yun exclaimed in surprise, his feet flashing with thunderous light, creating a sharp and smooth wind as he moved quickly across the field, his posture elegant and aggressive. He landed on a large rock in the distance, but just as he steadied himself, his vision was again filled with silver flames. Without any delay, he swiftly dodged. The large rock he was just standing on crumbled into pieces, sending rubble flying everywhere. At the same time, a wave of silver light chased after Lu Yun from behind, coming from the windstorm silver scale horses. Their displayed speed was not weaker than Lu Yun's Gale Thunder Flash step at great accomplishment, and some of them even faintly surpassed his speed. At that moment, a glimmer of brightness suddenly appeared in Lu Yun's eyes. He felt that his speed had unexpectedly increased at this critical moment, and although the increase was small, he instantly sensed it. With a portion of his mind on the panel, he saw that the training progress of Gale Thunder Flash step had already been raised to 55% great accomplishment. Seeing this, Lu Yun couldn't help but feel overjoyed. This time, the training progress increased by a whole 5%, the equivalent of at least 15 energy points. As expected, I guessed correctly. This place is truly a treasure trove for cultivation. A wave of silver sea approached, threatening to completely engulf Lu Yun. Perhaps I can improve even faster. Lu Yun's eyes brightened as he moved like a silver dragon across the sky, leaving a beautiful trace and narrowly escaping the silver sea. He then charged directly into the windstorm silver scale horses. Provoked by Lu Yun, the herd of windstorm silver scale horses became even more ferocious, blowing silver flames from their nostrils. Thud! Thud! They glowed with a silver brilliance, stomped their hooves, and let out proud, long neighs. In an instant, the entire plain trembled, and the deafening neighs echoed. The massive herd of windstorm silver scale horses charged, and their shimmering silver hooves stomped forward. Lu Yun's figure flickered, and several deep marks appeared in his place. Within the massive herd of windstorm silver scale horses, Lu Yun could not afford to be careless for even a moment, constantly dodging. The only thing he could do now was use the Gale Thunder Flash step to its fullest, transforming into a bolt of lightning as he fled. The windstorm silver scale horses were swift and quick to react. Any ordinary martial artist in the early stage of the true Qi realm would have been crushed by their silver hooves by now. Only Lu Yun could cultivate a top-tier body technique to the realm of great accomplishment in the early stage of the true Qi realm and hone his skills amidst the terrifyingly fast windstorm silver scale horses. After an hour of actual combat training, the progress of his Gale Thunder Flash step increased by another 5%. At the same time, the frighteningly fast silver hooves of windstorm silver scale horses stepped forward, while silver flames spewed from the gaping mouths behind him. Silver light beams came from the left and right as well. In such a situation, there was absolutely no way to avoid everything. Lu Yun shone with a white light, like a sun hanging in the sky. His body was enveloped by the pure yang aura, which was both unyielding and aggressive, blocking attacks from all sides. Scram! Lu Yun shouted, and the pure yang aura erupted, sending the surrounding windstorm silver scale horses flying with immense power. However, more windstorm silver scale horses rushed in from behind to attack him. With a whoosh, Lu Yun's figure moved again, like a slippery lightning snake, leaping over the tall body of a windstorm silver scale horse. He re-entered the actual combat, training to hone his body technique. The vast and immense pure yang aggressive aura was enough to support Lu Yun's prolonged use of his Gale Thunder Flash step at great accomplishment. An hour later, the Gale Thunder Flash step was 64% complete. 4 hours later, the Gale Thunder Flash step reached 67%. With the advancement of the Gale Thunder Flash step, It became easier for Lu Yun to deal with these windstorm silver scale horses, but the effectiveness of his training gradually weakened. Eventually, after the Gale Thunder Flash step reached 70% completion, Lu Yun exited the Myriad Phenomena Tower. It was him who left the Myriad Phenomena Tower. At this time, Lu Yun had less than 30% of his aggressive aura left. No one should know that I managed to pass the 10th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower, right? On Myriad Phenomena Square, Lu Yun glanced at the Myriad Phenomena Jade Wall, and there was no information about him. After taking a look around, the other people who saw him did not reveal any surprised expressions, but just greeted him with a smile. Lu Yun confirmed that nobody knew he had passed the 10th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. This outcome was precisely in line with his expectations. After exchanging pleasantries with others, Lu Yun quickly left the Myriad Phenomena Square. Almost right away when he left the Myriad Phenomena Tower, Yi Xingqian, who was lying on a sleeping chair under a large tree in a peaceful and serene small courtyard, suddenly opened his eyes. His turbid and deep eyes emitted a trace of brilliance. Chapter 92. Encounter with Mu Qinyun again, third update, Internal Affairs Hall, Pill Medicine Building. The disciple who attended to Lu Yun was still the same as before. The disciple's surname is Yao, his name is Lin. He is quite astute and enthusiastic. Seeing Lu Yun, he greeted him with a smile right away. Senior brother Lu, I haven't seen you in months, and your aura is becoming more and more unfathomable. You're not bad either, you're already in the midstage of the Meridian Passage realm, and have a solid innate talent. With another month or two of hard work, you should be able to break through. B0XO. Calm Lu Yun glanced at Yao Lin and saw his details clearly. Originally, even if he was a realm above Yao Lin, he could only see his realm at most, but not how long he had been immersed in it, only having a vague idea. However, after comprehending the slaughter conception, he could see more, although he was not sure why. Hee, senior brother Lu has a good eye. Yao Lin blatantly flattered Lu Yun and then asked with a grin, Senior brother Lu, are you here to exchange for Meridian pills again? Meridian pills no longer have any effect on me. This time, I want to exchange for Profound Origin pills. Profound Origin pills? Yao Lin was momentarily stunned but quickly recovered, his face filled with shock as he said incredulously, You have broken through to the true Qi realm? Lu Yun looked dismissively at him and replied irritably, It's just the true Qi realm, it's not worth making such a fuss. Then, he quickly glanced around and unobtrusively pulled Yao Lin into a corner. Try to be calm. One don't want too many people to know about my breakthrough. Yao Lin hastily nodded and promised solemnly, Don't worry, senior brother Lu, I will keep it a secret and won't mention it to anyone else. As he spoke, Yao Lin's face reddened slightly, clearly due to excessive excitement. Lu Yun couldn't help but smile inwardly, feeling somewhat relieved that the news of his passing the 10th level of the Myriad Phenomena Tower had not spread yet. Just breaking through to the true Qi realm was enough to make Yao Lin react like this, and the other disciples wouldn't fare much better. By the way, how many contribution points does a bottle of Profound Origin pills cost? Lu Yun now had 5,800 contribution points on his token. 800 from completing black-rank demon-slaying missions, 2,000 from passing the 9th level of the Myriad Phenomena Tower, and 3,000 from passing the 10th level. Even with nearly 6,000 contribution points, he still needed to be careful with how he spent them. 500 contribution points. Due to Lu Yun's previous reminder, Yao Lin's voice was much softer when speaking, and might not have been clear in such a noisy environment if it were not for Lu Yun's keen hearing. Give me 6 bottles. After pondering for a while, Lu Yun changed his mind. I want to exchange for 7 bottles. As he spoke, he handed his token to Yao Lin. All right, please wait a moment. Yao Lin took the token and ran off. Not long after, he returned to Lu Yun, panting, with the token in one hand and 7 exquisitely made jade bottles in the other. Senior brother Lu, am sorry to have kept you waiting. Yao Lin took a deep breath and carefully handed the token and profound origin pills to Lu Yun. 7 bottles of profound origin pills, a total of 3,500 contribution points, leaving 2,300 contribution points. Senior brother Lu, please check to see if there are any issues. Lu Yun simply nodded and did not check, instead putting away the token and profound origin pills and taking his leave. As soon as he left the pill medicine building, he encountered someone he did not expect to see. Brother Lu. Seeing Lu Yun, Mu Qinyun did not avoid him. Instead, he walked right up to greet him. Lu Yun's eyes flashed and he laughed. It turns out to be Brother Mu. One haven't had a chance to thank you for your pills last time. Haha, Brother Lu, you're joking. Considering Lu Yun's teasing, Mu Qinyun did not mind at all, chatting casually for a while before taking his leave. As soon as Mu Qinyun turned the corner, the smile on his face vanished abruptly, replaced by a look of hatred. It's you, it must be you. His fists clenched tightly as he resisted turning back, fearing that if he saw that hateful face again, he wouldn't be able to resist attacking. In the face of the vast gap between them, attacking would lead to only one outcome. Digging his own grave, Mu Qinyun had always been jealous and hateful of Lu Yun, the village boy. After entering the martial academy, he found the gap between them growing even larger. Instead of reducing his jealousy and hatred, it grew deeper. However, Mu Qinyun was cunning, not showing his true feelings on his face, burying them deep in his heart, and plotting to take revenge on Lu Yun. His first thought was to stop Lu Yun from progressing, and the best way to do that was to destroy Spirit Creek Village, which would demoralize Lu Yun for a while. Some geniuses might never rise again after such a setback. Even if Lu Yun did not succumb completely, he would still be delayed for several months because of it, giving Mu Qinyun a chance to catch up. And this was just the first step. There would be a second step, and even a third step. However, the news he received was of the destruction of Sky Wind's stronghold instead of the massacre of Spirit Creek Village, as well as his father and the Breeze Mountain Villa elders being killed by an unknown powerful individual overnight. In his extreme hatred, Mu Qinyun did not think much and directly linked this to Lu Yun. Even if he did not believe Lu Yun was capable of such things. To verify this, he went to Lu Yun's small courtyard. As luck would have it, Lu Yun was not there during that time, which further confirmed his suspicions. Lu Yun, regardless of whether this has anything to do with you, one will destroy you, I must, elsewhere. Lu Yun returned to his small courtyard as evening fell, not in the mood to practice martial arts but instead contemplating Mu Qinjian's situation. It's been so long, and news of Qin Peak Manor must have reached his ears by now. He's acting so normal in front of me now, it's unbelievable if he doesn't have any ulterior motive. It had been over 2 months since he killed Mu Qinfeng and the others. By now, Mu Qinyun should know what had happened, even if his information was limited. After learning about the events at Breeze Mountain Villa, Mu Qinjian's normal reaction should have been sadness or despair for a while, not greeting his fellow villager with a smile. Either he is heartless and gullible, or he has something to hide, and is trying to cover it up. With this in mind, Lu Yun thought back to the events at Skywind's stronghold and the many clues involved. Breeze Mountain Villa had no grudges with Spirit Creek Village. The only connection was between Mu Qinyun and himself. First there were minor conflicts, then jealousy turned to hatred, and finally the hiring of an assassin to kill. But this is just my speculation. Lu Yun pondered many things in his mind. If everything were as he expected, then Mu Qinyun was no simple person. Restricted by the rules of the academy, he could not do anything openly to Mu Qinyun. Unless it was outside the academy and in a situation where no one was present. Regardless, Mu Qinyun must die. Allowing a fly like him to continue existing will eventually cause trouble. With this thought, a fierce light flickered in Lu Yun's eyes. Chapter 93, Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon, 4th Update. The next day, Lu Yun woke up early, rising to practice Gale Thunder Flash Step even before dawn. Another round of practice went by without much noticeable improvement. It'd be strange if he could make genuine progress in such a small courtyard using Gale Thunder Flash Step. Lu Yun wasn't bothered though. He was just restless and wanted to get some exercise. B0XO. Calm returning to his room to wipe the sweat from his face, Lu Yun pulled out the Profound Origin pills and started refining them. In no time, all 7 bottles of Profound Origin pills had been completely refined. With a feeling of excitement, Lu Yun opened his panel. Name: Lu Yun Power, Flying Spirit Martial Academy Martial Arts. Breaking Wind Saber Technique, Perfection, Irreversible. 7 Kill Saber Technique, Reach Profound, Irreversible. Black Tiger Saber Technique, Perfection, Irreversible. Gale Thunder Flash Step, Great Accomplishment 70%. Golden Sun Refining Technique, Entry Level 1%, can be fused. Innate Talent. Level 6, A/Martial Arts. Early True Chi Realm, 1 Refinement. Energy Value 2,481, automatically increased by 1 every 2 days. Conception, Slaughter Conception, first rank 5%. SSS. 2,481 energy values. Lu Yun gasped for breath, his eyes gleaming with excitement and joy. 7 bottles of Profound Origin pills, 70 in total, added up to 2,450 energy values. This meant each Profound Origin pill was equivalent to 35 energy values, the same efficiency as when he broke through to the True Chi realm. Previously, because of breaking through, the efficiency of converting body tempering pills into energy value had decreased. Lu Yun had assumed that the same would happen to the Profound Origin pills after advancing to the True Chi realm. However, the result was not as he thought. It was still 35 energy values per Profound Origin pill. During the Meridian Passage realm, the use of body tempering pills lessened the efficiency of energy value conversion because it wasn't useful for martial artists at that stage. After one advanced to the True Chi realm, the conversion efficiency of the Profound Origin pills' energy value didn't change because these pills are meant for martial artists in the True Chi realm. If this guess is correct, even if I refine the pill for Origin Fluid Realm or even higher level pills now, it'll yield the same result as refining them when I reach those stages in the future. At this thought, Lu Yun smirked inwardly. If his deduction was correct, then this panel is seriously cunning. All thanks to this panel, there are no instructions. I have to figure out everything by myself, and it even prevents me from taking advantage of bugs. After a bit of grumbling, Lu Yun reopened the fusion panel for Golden Sun 10 refinement. Pure Yang Aura and Golden Sun 10 refinement can be fused. Fusing will consume 1,300 energy values. A whole 1,300 energy values. I hope it gets a more domineering name after the fusion. Golden Sun 10 refinement is too ordinary. Murmuring to himself, Lu Yun didn't hesitate or even blink as he silently commanded the fusion. Instantly, the A/9 Origin Technique and Golden Sun Refining Technique disappeared from the panel. The fusion of the two brought about drastic changes compared to when Mix Origin Technique and Golden Sun Refining Technique were previously fused. At the moment of fusion, Lu Yun's aura underwent drastic changes. Not only was the pure Yang aura in his dantian refined once more, his physical body began to change as well. He could feel every piece of flesh, blood, and bone rapidly improving, the enhancement of his physical strength and increase in power. Next, a massive amount of memories flooded his brain. Under the onslaught of these flood-like memories, Lu Yun entered a strange state. It seemed as if only a moment or an entire year had passed. When Lu Yun finally regained his senses, a new piece of information appeared on the panel. 1,300 energy values consumed. Mix Origin Technique and Golden Sun 10 refinement have fused to create a new martial art, Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon. This message lingered for more than 10 breaths before disappearing. Following it, in the martial arts column on the panel, the original position of the Golden Sun 10 refinement was replaced by the Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon. Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon. True Chi Chapter, Entry Level 1%. This new martial art, although it doesn't sound very dominating, is simple and straightforward. Moreover, based on the memories that revealed in his mind. The Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon is the canon of Pure Yang martial art, now divided into entry-level, Meridian Passage Realm, and True Chi Chapter. Afterwards, as more martial arts and cultivation techniques get integrated, the Pure Yang martial arts canon will gradually improve. That is to say, from this point forward, Lu Yun's cultivation system is set in place, based on the foundation of the Pure Yang martial arts canon. If he wants to change, he can only start over from the beginning. Feeling the potential terror of the Pure Yang martial arts canon, Lu Yun naturally won't switch to other systems. Especially after merging into the Pure Yang martial arts canon, his overall strength has significantly increased. The current True Chi chapter is also quite extraordinary. It can help him complete 12 refinements. Not only that, his physical defense has also grown to a certain extent. With a wave of his hand, the tiger-head broad saber at the head of the bed flew into his hand. Looking at the sharp blade, Lu Yun grabbed the hilt in one hand, then lightly brushed it against the other hand. Sizzle! A cold sensation transmitted, leaving a faint trace on his arm, with no pain whatsoever. Using half the strength, he once again brushed it over his arm. A slight pain came through. Simultaneously, a shallow red line appeared on his arm, a little bit of fresh blood filtered out, then quickly coagulated and scabbed over. Seeing this, satisfaction flashed in Lu Yun's eyes. Although the tiger-head broadsaber is not a true artifact, it ranks at the top among ordinary weapons. Being exceptionally sharp, it has even killed several third-rank demon beasts. Without employing aggressive aura for protection, and adding only half-brute strength to the tiger-head broadsaber, it only left a shallow scar on his arm. This shows the horror of his present body. In less than 10 minutes, the scar on his arm quickly healed. His recovery power is simply extraordinary. This may just be the beginning of the Pure Yang martial arts canon. A smile bloomed on Lu Yun's face. This is just the outcome at the entry level. Possessing such defensive and recovery powers, he looks forward to the physical body after the Pure Yang martial arts canon True Chi chapter has reached great accomplishment and perfection. Just how strong it will be. His gaze fell back onto the martial arts section of the fusion panel. Martial arts. Breaking Wind Saber Technique, perfection, cannot be promoted. 7 Kill Saber Technique. Reach Profound, cannot be promoted. Black Tiger Saber Technique, perfection, cannot be promoted. Gale Thunder Flash Step, great accomplishment 70%. Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon, True Chi Chapter, entry level 1%. Compared to before, it is undoubtedly much simpler. It would be even better if the Breaking Wind Saber Technique, Black Tiger Saber Technique, 7 Kill Saber Technique could be fused. Such a thought arose in Lu Yun's heart. As his strength improves, the Breaking Wind Saber Technique and Black Tiger Saber Technique are not enough for him to use. Even the 7 Kill Saber Technique that helped him comprehend the slaughter conception seems somewhat insufficient. If these could be merged into one new saber technique, it would be an addition of wings to a tiger for him. Pity, not everything can go as one wishes. On stepping out, he saw the sun had just risen to its zenith. Lu Yun casually washed his face, then left the courtyard, heading towards the cafeteria exclusive for elite disciples. He had not eaten for some time, his stomach needed replenishing, and he also wanted to fulfill his appetite. Upon reaching the cafeteria, he saw several somewhat familiar new faces, all new disciples who had joined the martial academy around the same time as Lu Yun. These people all had less than level 5 innate talent and were all ordinary disciples at the beginning. Now being able to come to the cafeteria in the elite disciples area, It proves that they passed the academy's examination and became part of the elite disciples. Lu Yun casually scanned them. They were all at the Meridian Passage realm, and their auras were all fairly solid. Senior Brother Lu. Senior Brother Lu. Upon seeing Lu Yun, everyone took the initiative to greet him, and also left an independent seat for Lu Yun. Those disciples who were doing tasks in the cafeteria, even more so, voluntarily served Lu Yun his meals. A large bowl of fine rice, 3 meat dishes, 1 vegetable dish, and a bowl of replenishing soup. Thank you. After uttering his thanks, Lu Yun sat down and began to eat. That's just how the world is. Once you have shown enough potential and strength, there will be plenty of people running to work for you. Lu Yun didn't like it, but that didn't mean he refused to enjoy it. Chapter 94. The 12 Provinces of Morijin. After leaving the cafeteria, Lu Yun headed straight to the book collection pavilion. Seeing Lu Yun enter the pavilion, a flicker of sharp light flashed in the elderly eyes of the elder who guarded it, though it was not easy to detect. This little fellow has been in the martial academy for less than a year and has already reached the true Qi realm. His cultivation speed is even stronger than those with level 6 innate talent. No wonder he has caught the dean's attention. Inside the first floor of the book collection pavilion, in addition to martial arts books, there were many other miscellaneous books. Among the miscellaneous books, there were books about the geography and astronomical knowledge of the 9 provinces in the Morijin dynasty, and there were also books on common knowledge of the martial arts realm. B0XO. Furthermore, there were books on pills, spiritual materials, weapons, and so on. Lu Yun's main purpose this time was to read books on the topic of insight. It was somewhat difficult to find a book of interest among the vast sea of miscellaneous books. Fortunately, Lu Yun was not in a hurry. He slowly rummaged through the books and would pause when he found something interesting while taking notes for borrowing when he had enough contribution points. Suddenly, he came across a book called Chronicles of Morijin, and the introduction immediately piqued Lu Yun's curiosity. A long time ago, the Morijin world was plagued by demon beasts, conflicts among sects, power struggles among aristocratic families, wars among provincial governments, and rampant bandits. However, 800 years ago, a mysterious powerhouse emerged. He did not belong to any sect or aristocratic family. It was as if he suddenly descended upon this world, showing off terrifyingly unparalleled means. He united the provincial governments, subdued major aristocratic families, suppressed various sects, and established the Morijin dynasty. From then on, the Morijin dynasty was born, and this mysterious powerhouse naturally became the first-generation primordial emperor. After the establishment of the Morijin dynasty, the primordial emperor mobilized the power of all sects and aristocratic families within the dynasty to fight against the demon beasts. They eventually achieved victory, driving the beasts out of the human territory. Then, he divided the original territory where demon beasts and humans lived into 9 provinces and established counties. He also set up martial academies in various counties to attract all talents within the Morijin territory, aimed at strengthening the dynasty and weakening the power of aristocratic families and sections. Those sects were understandably unwilling to compromise. For them, submission meant extinction. In the 30th year of the Morijin dynasty, the war between the sects and the dynasty broke out. In the end, the sects were either annihilated or forced to flee from the 9 provinces. It was since then that martial arts and cultivation techniques were no longer monopolized by sects and noble aristocratic families. Commoners with good innate talent could join martial academies, and those with poorer talent could join the army, both able to learn martial arts and cultivation technique. Upon reading this far, the opening came to an end, and Lu Yun unconsciously flipped to the next page. Lu Yun's eyes flashed with a glint of surprise. Oh, one can actually keep reading. He then continued to read page by page and encountered no resistance. Finally, Lu Yun finished reading Chronicles of Morijin and picked up another book, easily finishing it again without any hindrance. Then he read another, and the same result ensued. Lu Yun quickly came to a conclusion. All miscellaneous books in the book collection pavilion were free. Martial Academy disciples could browse them at will without spending any contribution points. Upon learning this, Lu Yun was naturally overjoyed. Due to his background and experiences, he was relatively lacking in knowledge about martial arts and other matters. It was necessary for him to read and learn more to widen his horizons and enrich his knowledge. The vast sea of miscellaneous books in the book collection pavilion not only covered astronomy, geography, and other topics, but also touched upon martial arts, pills, spiritual materials, and more that Lu Yun was lacking. If contribution points were needed for browsing these books, the amount required would far exceed the limit Lu Yun could bear. Now that he could browse them directly without any cost, it not only saved a huge amount of contribution points for Lu Yun, but also allowed him to browse and absorb knowledge to his heart's content by expanding his horizons. Lu Yun no longer searched for books on insights slowly. He decided to read all the miscellaneous books once through. The first set he read were about Morijin historical events and geography. The first-generation primordial emperor swept through sects and aristocratic families, expelled demon beasts, divided the 9 provinces, promoted martial arts throughout the world, established unparalleled merit, and eventually abdicated in the 500th year of the Morijin. Since then, there was no news of him. After the accession of the second-generation primordial emperor, the sect forces that had escaped from the 9 provinces began to rally back. Although the current primordial emperor did not possess the supreme power of the first-generation primordial emperor, the Morijin, which gathered the talents and human luck from the 9 provinces, was not something those sect forces could contend with. They could only choose to erode it gradually. So that's where the so-called evil cults came from. Lu Yun finally understood why sects like the White Lotus sect were considered evil cult. It would indeed be strange if opposing the court would not be seen as an evil cult. It took 2 days to finish reading the history and geography of Morijin. At its inception, Morijin only had 9 provinces. After continuously driving out demon beasts and developing new territories, 3 more provinces were established. Today there are 12 provinces altogether. Central Province, Wu Province, Qing Province, Yun Province, Yang Province, Jing Province, Yu Province, Liang Province, Yong Province, Yu Province, Yen Province, and Ling Province. Among them, Yu Province, Yen Province, and Ling Province are newly developed territories. Beyond the 12 provinces there are still vast expanses of land. As for the regions beyond the 12 provinces, there are no records of them in the book collection pavilion. Lu Yun doesn't mind this, as the size of a single province is already enough to shock him, let alone the territories beyond the 12 provinces. According to the books, Ling Province was developed 300 years ago and has grown to have 36 prefectures to this day. In just one of the 36 prefectures, Spirit Martial Prefecture, there are tens of millions of people. From this, it can be inferred how vast Ling Province is and how wide Morijin is. After spending 2 days and nights in the book collection pavilion without rest, Lu Yun not only didn't feel tired but became even more energetic, picking up another book from the shelf. This book is about the theory of pill medicine, and Lu Yun is even more eager to read it. Lu Yun's memory is excellent now, almost swallowing everything in one go, yet still being able to remember the knowledge he had read. Unless it's a very difficult and obscure knowledge point, those require a little more time. After several days of reading books, Lu Yun finally understood the uses and effects of various pills. Pills, like martial arts realms, are also graded. Pills are divided into 9 grades, and within the same grade, there are many types, which help martial artists speed up their cultivation, break through bottlenecks, and so on. In addition, there are pills to recover from injuries, enhance spiritual power, replenish true qi, true origin, and so on. In short, pills are indispensable auxiliary tools for martial artists, Their role is no less than martial arts and cultivation technique. First-grade pills are the lowest level, and have the greatest effect on martial artists in the enter-martial realm, such as the body-tempering pill. The meridian pill and profound origin pill are second- and third-grade pills respectively. Ninth-grade pills are the highest level, but such pills are priceless and scarce. At least, there has never been a ninth-grade pill in Spirit Martial Prefecture. Pills can only be refined by alchemists. It is incredibly difficult to become an alchemist. It requires not only exceptional talent, but also a certain degree of perseverance and inheritance, which has led to a scarcity of alchemists in Morrigan. As rarity increases value, so too do people. Pills, as indispensable auxiliary tools for martial artists on their martial arts path, give alchemists a high status. Lu Yun is indifferent to the status of alchemists, as in his view, only absolute strength can truly consolidate one's position. If one learn alchemy myself, wouldn't it be much easier for me to accumulate energy points later? This idea, like a spark, instantly ignited a raging fire in Lu Yun's heart. However, simply relying on the books in the book collection pavilion is not enough for Lu Yun to become an alchemist. To become an alchemist, the most basic requirement is to have talent. The so-called talent refers to having high spiritual power and strong comprehension ability. In terms of talent, Lu Yun wasn't worried at all. However, having talent alone doesn't necessarily mean one can become an alchemist. To become the lowest level first-grade alchemist, one must not only have talent but also be very familiar with various alchemy materials, including their attributes, uses, and so on. In addition, one must also know the specific steps of alchemy, possess the corresponding pill prescriptions, and a furnace for pill refining. Up to now, the only thing Lu Yun possesses is talent. Considering all this, Lu Yun temporarily suppressed the idea of becoming an alchemist. Chapter 95. Martial Arts Conception. A month later, Lu Yun finally stepped out of the book collection pavilion. At this time, Lu Yun's face had gained a touch of maturity, especially his eyes, which had become more clear and wise. Reading makes people wise and profound. In half a month, Lu Yun had read at least thousands of books of various types, which broadened his knowledge and insights in many aspects. Besides, Lu Yun found that his slaughter conception had also grown slightly. Not much growth, only by 3 stages, but this made Lu Yun marvel at its inconceivability. B0XO. Calm. Although he didn't know the cause, this change undoubtedly made Lu Yun more eager to immerse himself in the ocean of knowledge. Only now did he come out of the book collection pavilion. It wasn't that he had finished reading all the miscellaneous books on the first floor, but rather a month of not eating or drinking had made him unbearably hungry. Upon arriving at the elite disciples' cafeteria, the table was filled with dishes, most of which were energy-packed meat. The surrounding disciples gathered in 2s and 3s, discussing some interesting anecdotes about the martial academy. As always, there were never a lack of gossip-mongers. As soon as they heard some insider news, people quickly gathered around, bustling with excitement. The one at the center was a young man in a purple brocade robe, with an extraordinary temperament and eloquence. Lu Yun had a vague impression of him. He was a disciple from an intermediate aristocratic family in Spirit Martial Prefecture, named Yi Xiuwen. Yi Xiuwen casually pulled open his robe, sat down on a stool, looked at the crowd, and smiled. "Did you all hear? A few days ago, a newcomer disciple passed the 10th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower." As soon as his words were spoken, they immediately caused a stir among the crowd. Many disciples who were eating couldn't help but put down their chopsticks and prick up their ears. "My goodness, don't be so fierce. These newcomers haven't even been in the martial academy for 1 year. They're passing the 10th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower so quickly. It wouldn't be long before they can get rid of their elite disciple status and officially become Star Palace disciples." The 10th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower was the nightmare of many disciples, thwarting numerous veteran elite disciples. Those who had only entered the martial academy for just a few years had never even stepped into the 9th floor, let alone the 10th. Some of the disciples were intrigued and couldn't wait to ask, "Quickly tell us which newcomer it is. Is it by Haoxuan, Xiaochen, or Lu Yun?" After speaking, he subtly glanced at another corner. There Lu Yun was sitting. Others also looked over. Though Lu Yun rarely visited the cafeteria, it didn't mean others didn't know him. Yi Xiuwen coughed and then whispered, "Xiao Chun and Lu Yun have always been low-key, and I've rarely seen them, so I don't have much information on them. But one thing is for certain, even if they haven't passed the 10th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower now, it won't be long." Most of the people present were shrewd and understood the implications of these words, sighing at the news. However, there were always fools who didn't understand the underlying connections. One of them, a young man in a blue robe, spoke loudly, "Can't you guess? It's definitely by Haoxuan. He's the only level 6 innate talent among the newcomer disciples. Who else could pass the 10th floor of the Myriad Phenomena Tower in such a short time? As for Lu Yun and Xiao Qin, they may be good, but they fall far short of Bai Haoxuan." After saying this, he looked proudly at the crowd, as if to say, "Look how smart 1 am." The others looked at him strangely, losing their appetite for gossip, and returned to their seats. Some of the disciples who had been sitting at the same table as the blue-robed youth quickly moved away, finding a new seat, wanting nothing to do with him. Seeing this, the blue-robed youth was dumbfounded. He looked at the others in confusion, not knowing what he had done to offend them. Finally, when his gaze landed on a corner of the cafeteria and saw Lu Yun, his pupils shrank dramatically. Not good. Why is the person involved here? By now, even if he was still a little confused, he knew what kind of blunder he had made. Geniuses often have peculiar personalities, and a casual word or deed could provoke their fury. As for geniuses, one could only befriend them or stay away from them, but never offend them. Now that he had gossiped about the main character himself and offended him, he was in trouble. After hesitating for a while, he finally plucked up the courage and walked up to Lu Yun. "Senior brother Lu, just now, one misspoke and accidentally offended you." Lu Yun looked up at the troubled young man in the blue robe and smiled. "What you said was the truth, and it wasn't wrong. How could it have offended me?" Having said that, he stood up and left without giving the other a second glance. After Lu Yun left the cafeteria, everyone gathered again. "What do you think Lu Yun meant by that?" the blue-robed youth asked with unease. Yi Xiuwen looked at the blue-robed youth with a somewhat strange gaze and after pondering for a moment, said, "There are two outcomes. First, you're lucky, and Lu Yun doesn't take your unintentional words to heart and doesn't hold a grudge." Upon hearing this, the blue-robed youth breathed a sigh of relief and continued to ask, "What about the other outcome?" Yi Xiuwen said ominously, in that case, you've brought a big disaster upon yourself, and from now on, you'll be constantly harassed by a genius disciple." After leaving the cafeteria, Lu Yun returned to the book collection pavilion, not paying any attention to the small incidents that happened in the cafeteria. The only thing that surprised him was that Bai Haoxuan had actually passed the 10th level of the Myriad Phenomena Tower. That's good too. In a while, one can go find the dean to honor the promise. He was very eager for the superior true artifact promised by the dean, but the most important thing at the moment was to finish reading all the miscellaneous books in the book collection pavilion. As the saying goes, read 10,000 books and travel 10,000 miles. The path of martial arts is like traveling. One needs to dabble in all aspects of knowledge in order to clear more obstacles for the ascent to the pinnacle of martial arts. Seeing Lu Yun again, the elder of the book collection pavilion opened his sparse eyes. At this moment, Lu Yun had a feeling like there was a thorn in his back, forcing him to stop in his tracks. "Little guy, miscellaneous knowledge is important, but only the realm is fundamental." After saying that, the elder's old eyes closed again. Thank you for your guidance, Elder. I'll remember it. Respectfully answering, Lu Yun only then entered the book collection pavilion. For these old antiques, appropriate respect is necessary. As for whether to listen or not, that's a separate matter. There were still very few people in the miscellaneous study area, with only a few disciples looking for the books they needed. Lu Yun didn't care about other people's plans. He came to a bookshelf and skillfully removed a book from among the many volumes, and began to read it. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. At this time, Lu Yun finally found a book about martial arts conception. Naturally, Lu Yun was very excited about it. He immediately found a quiet corner and began to read quietly. Time passed, and 2 hours quickly went by. Lu Yun got up to put the book back in its original place, his brows furrowed and his heart full of doubt. There were very few descriptions about martial arts conception, but there were still some good gains. Martial arts conception is a realm, a unity of form, spirit, emotion, and reason, a coordination of illusion and reality, that emerges from accidents and hides within symbols. Similarly, martial arts conception is also a manifestation of spiritual power, invisible to the naked eye, but capable of exerting tremendous effects, shocking the soul, suppressing opponents, and enhancing one's own strength. There are many kinds of martial arts conceptions, such as sword intent, saber intent, ice and snow intent, slaughter conception, and so on. The slaughter conception that Lu Yun understood was an extension of its origin, an origin that belonged only to slaughter, evolved from the condensation of killing intent and murderous aura to the extreme. As long as he triggered the slaughter conception, his opponent's spirit would be shaken and suppressed, unable to exert their full strength. With the buff of slaughter conception, his own strength would also be enhanced. Conception is divided into 10 ranks from low to high. The first rank is the entry level, while the 10th rank is perfection. It is said that after the conception reaches perfection, it can manifest itself. At the moment, my slaughter conception is only at the first rank with 10% proficiency, just entering the door. One don't know when I'll be able to manifest the conception. Clearing his mind of all distractions, Lu Yun continued to flip through the next book. In another 10 days, he finally finished reading the remaining miscellaneous book. When he left, he had gained 2 more superior martial arts techniques in his possession.